Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto and Starfire married Teen Titans. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by BLAZERAPTOR54, link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Tokyo, 2013, 6:23 p.m. A young woman was walking alone the street. It was getting late as the sun fell heavy to the west. She had bags under her eyes and complained of a terrible day at work. She carried her purse close to her person, always keeping a constant lookout as she entered a shady part of the city. The bad thing is though, being alone still makes one such a great target. So, she wasn't all too surprised when a man came out of a roundabout. Holding a knife out, he looked at her laughing. "Hey there girl, what do you have there? My that looks expensive," the man said, holding his knife in reversed grip fashion. "What do you want?" she asked, though she was already reaching under her coat for her mace. The man, however, already played this game so many times. He grabbed her arm, pushing his knife to her throat with the opposite arm. She struggled slightly. "Look sweetie, just give me the purse," she continued, but was trembling out of fear. Tears welled up in her eyes. The look he was giving indicated he wanted something more. It only confirmed her fear more as he started to drag her. "Better yet, follow me." Having no opportunity to scream and with the street being empty, she was dragged into an alley where she was pushed down. The man was smiling lecherously as the woman threw her purse at him. "Take my money, please, leave me alone," she begged. The man simply walked closer to her, moving his hand towards his pants. "I will, and I'll be taking the money after I'm done." The man felt something similar to a furry object tap his shoulder. He had a look of anger and turned around. "What the fuck do you want?" he screamed as a fist went into his stomach. Followed by the furry object, now identified as a tail wrapping around his head. The source of the punch and tail was a person dressed in all navy blue. His tail bore a red color to its beautifully soft fur. The man struggled as the tail constricted his airway. Finally a snap was heard. He fell forward. The snap, however, was not the man's neck. He had tried to stab the tail and found that the poor metal snapped against the skin of it. Like it was iron-plated. Finally, he fell forward. All the while the woman looked at the person, scared out of her mind. As she stuttered, shaking, she backed away even more. The person's tail stopped the constricting before it flowed around his waist. He picked up the woman's purse and looked at the owner. Take it, don't kill me. Please, demon-san." The person gave her a confused look, turning his head as if it was like a dog. He just tossed the purse towards her before casually walking up the wall of the alley she was in. She immediately dialed the emergency contacts. On top of the roof. The person simply walked away more and more. Removing the mask, smiling. "That's another down," he whispered to the wind. His blue eyes looked at the sky above as he removed his headpiece. Quickly getting out of his shizoku. Under his shizoku, he wore a simple garb. A orange t-shirt and black cargo pants. The only two key features was twin sets of whisker marks on his face. He smiled as he clapped his hands together. The tail was gone in puff of smoke, but his ears, fox-like in nature, still adorned the top of his head. The boy kept walking, picking up a bottle off the roof, obviously alcohol. Though he still took a sip and crossed a makeshift roof bridge. Probably made by some true Parker freaks. He brought out headphones and an iPod. "Sweet, still got my favorite burrowed thing," the boy said before playing a song by a band called Wolfmother. The boy tapped his leg to the guitar that roared into his ears from the device. The child smiled as he looked at the street below him. Still slightly shadowing the woman who was now rounding the corner. Inside a police car, being taken to questioning. She was innocent, simple protocol. The boy sit down on the edge of the building, which was near ladder, so no would arouse suspicion on how he got up there. Nor would anyone ask about the ears, since it was the festival foxes. For all the common folk knew, they were fake. The way he liked it. Although the music now cut out on his iPod, replaced by a radio broadcast. In earlier news today, the Teen Titans West took down the super criminal known as Cinderblock. The fight that ensured left 3 buildings heavily damaged, but the super villain was caught. Arrested and sent to prison once again. The boy rolled his eyes before smiling a toothy grin. "I need to hit the US, Japan is really getting boring," he spoke out loud, though low enough for no one to hear him. The music starting playing back and he got up. The redhead smirked before making a dashing run back towards the alleyways of the buildings. He jumped across a large gap, at least a 20-foot leap. The boy looked at the clock and smirked. Plenty of time. Boys pov. I ran hard, leaping over the minor gaps of the buildings. Jamming all the way and learning about the Joker and the Thief of the Night. I leaped over a larger gap, still going unnoticed. My senses, all higher than any humans, were locking onto multiple things. My sense of smell, alcohol, my sense of taste, well, I was looking for Raymond. Truth be told, I don't care about hiding, it's just I don't want to be a poser. Like the Teen Titans, hell even the Justice League. Although I am a big fan of the Batman, I have to admit they'd been slacking off recently. Crime rate has lightly peaked, though who could blame it? The younger heroes were all busy with growing up in the lavish lifestyle of hero. You see the point. I don't care, hell, the iPod I'm listening. Granted, with kick-ass music playing. Was my only little trophy. I stole it out of man's collection of ill-acquired goods, the cops aren't all the wiser. Besides, the way I see it, I think one little bitty iPod wouldn't matter. Granted, it looked like it booted as a phone, but hell, I don't have friends, so I'd never need the phone part. I flowed through the air, as Superman would when he flew. In a way, I was jealous of flying superheroes. Able to fly like birds, not be limited to the ground. Though, unlike me, they'd lack stealth. Well, enough about that. Though I'll admit that I'm a fur thief for now. I slowed down as I came into a small shack on top of one of the buildings and smiled as I walked. This was my humble little hideout. Well, one of many all over Japan. I walked inside, throwing the rest back. I packed my shizoku in, throwing it to the side. I sat on a raggedy hammock and picked up another ill-gotten item. A guitar. I decided here that it'd be best to take out of headphones. So I did, my ears twitched slightly without the noise. Part of being a demon, I guess, I'm in love with music. Well, hold up, not only music. You see, I'm 13, so I do have some other loves, one of which was for alcohol. I do drink a little here and there. Not much. Just enough to curb my anger. Which I had for attempted rapists or thieves that didn't give back. Well, wait a minute, scratch the last one. I hate murderers as well, but if they kill for revenge, who could really say what is wrong there? It really depends, you know. Like if I knew a man who hurt my family, then I'd be inclined to eliminate the threat. Thought to be honest, I can't help but say I'm happy with the way I am. No family, no friends, just me, myself, and well. Having fun, my kid. There is this giant fox that lives inside of me, but hey, he's a pretty good guy. Well, when he's calm, not pissed off. You'd swear he was an angel. I mean, come on, a demon doesn't always have to be bad, right? Fuck it, who cares, I don't. Kind of, bit of a slow day, maybe I've finally cleaned house here. I mentally shot a message back at the giant within me. The giant fox only laughed, causing me to chuckle as well. That a boy, how is your chakra supplies coming along? And complain, I mean, I don't really need the techniques if I'm going up against stupid crooks, do I? Well, it'd never hurt you to practice them. Especially on live targets. Sheesh, the ball thingy, the one you're teaching me, it could do some serious damage. Well, what if you get into a fight with one of those super villains? Then I'll kick their ass. I mean, if a team of 5 posers could do it, then I could. Lord, you have such hostilities towards them. If you ever get discovered, then you be sent to one such place to train. It could be frigging Batman for all I care, I'd tell them to get the hell away from me. Kid, come on, don't you feel at least bit lonely? After all, the news is about to start and I know you like the Prime Minister's daughter, she'd make a fine mate. Haha, very funny. I had to admit he had a point, she was beautiful girl. My age, with very unique eyes and hair. I wonder if she dyed it like I did. Personally, my tail is the only thing is naturally red, while my hair is blonde. I self-taught myself to dye hair, even paint my face on scouting trips. Kid, the news, let's see if we can get on tonight. You know, from last week. I quickly grabbed my remote and turned on my pirated electric television set. ZZZZ, GRZZZZZZZ, I throw my remote at it, making it come in full picture. Piece of shit, I mutter under my breath, but my breath gets taken away when I see the Prime Minister at the stand with his daughter at his side. Greetings Japan, and welcome to the National Pride News Network channel. Tonight our report IQ Azaka is on the scene in a press conference with the Prime Minister of our great country Udo Minikai. IQ. The scene changes to a female reporter, very buxom, definitely trying to get noticed. Though I ignored this, still my hormones didn't. Yes, Asaki, I am at the scene now. The minister has come to give press conference regarding the mysterious drops in common crime rates over the national area. A common crime is described by the instances of thievery, assaults and abuse. Along with cases of people being publicly causing a ruckus. I smirked, pride swelled in my chest. The mysterious drops in crime rate is likely due to the additional of several new Titan children. One of which, already famous Bushido, who of which attended as honorary guard at the discussion today. Though I can't seem to find him. I twitched slightly, are you fucking kidding me, that's a load of bullshit. Where was these guys at, oh right, sucking paparazzi photos. However, in the Tokyo area, a new hero many are calling the ninja demon, Kitsune, or perhaps the title of Shadow Fox. A name given to a once great hero who fought an evil villain giving his life to protect the city 13 years ago. Many could not find the body, even today. So, is this the rise of the new Shadow Fox? We'll hear the minister's response to this and more tonight. The camera panned towards the minister. I watched as he coughed, taking the podium. Hello fair people of Japan, I am here to give you all some very warm news. News that can make you rest at ease. I roared out in frustration and threw a piece of broken glass at the television. It came back on soon afterwards, and that our crime has fallen due to a combined effort of Titan's East Corps and the many vigilant heroes we have here today. However, I must point out that the one currently unknown to me, Kitsune, has been put on a search list. Search list? The search list is used to track down any unknown villains or heroes, hopefully establishing a profile about them and such. I announced with success that we've managed to database 3 more heroes along with several no-good crooks. I'm simply now asking that any upcoming heroes please come out into the light. I prefer darkness Prime Minister sorry. Anyways, as of now the JDF has partnered with Titan's new core Titan's Asian Crops, or TAC for short. They will be joint ranks with TTW, TTE. Hopefully increasing coherence between our culture's heroes. I rolled my eyes, well at least I got put on the search list. I get out some old stale bread and begin to eat. Anyway, as time goes by we hope to draw on many like Kitsune to the open. Be it good or bad. Thank you. I watched as he left the podium and sighed. Watching as his daughter left, she must have a very good life. Boom. Naruto. Yeah, I'm on it. I shouted, frustrated since I only got relax a little bit. Then suddenly hell breaks loose. I get up from my hammock and quickly unpack my shizoku. I quickly put it on, while heading over to the TV I reached behind it, grabbing a bow with a quiver of arrows. I just might need them this time I thought, strapping it to my back, my tail reappearing as I got ready. I slid down my hood and smiled. My tooth lightly poking out and I ran outside. Outside Naruto's shack, Tokyo, 7:27 p.m. normal POV. The now identified Naruto landed on the street, there a large man was wearing a mech suit. Holy shit Naruto managed to say, dodging a spray of gunfire. The boy breathed heavily for a moment and smirked. He formed a cross with his fingers as 3 copies of himself appeared behind his cover. Wedge formation he simply said, the clones nodded. Going up top the building and Naruto felt them get dispersed immediately. The boy just rolled his eyes, that was dumb plan B. He said in his mind, forming some hand seals. He was behind an alleyway, but he had one of advantage. Just below him was a sewer line and he knew what to do here. He focused his chakra into a pulse, sending it into the electrical systems underground, which shorted out the steam pipe controls. Naruto just needed to hold the mech suit guy in place. Yo. Naruto shouted, stepping out. The mech suit guy took notice and sneered down at the boy. You think you can take on Bulletstorm? He shouted his alter ego name. Naruto just rolled his yes, what a fucking stupid name the boy then smirked, flicking off the man. Who then got beat red from anger. You little shit. He pointed his guns at the Naruto, who was pointing down. The man looked down, tilting his mech suit. The next thing that happened was a blanket of hot steam upwards. Naruto quickly took the screams of the man assigned to attack. Pulling wire from his shizoku, he dodged a blundering hit. While the man held his eyes, screaming from the pain the steam caused. Naruto jumped around, going round and round the legs of the robot. He smirked as he stopped. His ears perked up to the sound of clicking. He barely dodged a spray of bullet fire and using inhuman strength, he pulled the unnaturally strong wire. The mech fell down and the Redeed smirked. Guess I didn't know shit. He shouted, seeing a flash of light coming at him. He barely dodged as a rocket zipped past him, exploding in the skies above. Luckily missing any buildings, the guy known as Bulletstorm got up and pulled the wire off. You little brat I think you should play with Sina. The naturally blonde Naruto looked to his right and saw a small red dot travel up. Oh, shit. The Redeed barely dodged as a bullet slammed into the ground where his foot was, he ducked behind a car. Well 2-on-1 is this because of minister's call to reveal themselves? Naruto slammed his palm into face. Paul you could have said that in the first place. What? Oh wait yeah that would work out just fine. Haha. The Redeed brought his hand towards his mouth. Biting into it, he made a blood incantation before slamming his palm into the ground Katsueki Kari. Blood hunt. Naruto shouted, the blood began to form into a small band of multiple-tailed foxes. Each having a hungry look in their eyes and they looked towards their summoner. The larger of the foxes, one with 3 tails smiled. He was no larger than a tire and asked the summoner a simple question. Masid konnichiwa, watashi wa anata o dono imnai hataraku koto ga dekiru hello master, how may I serve you? Naruto looked up, barely dodging a bullet to the head. He looked back down at them, climbing back to safe point behind the car. He smiled a wicked smile, a small trickle of blood flowed from his mouth where he had bit his hands. Watashi wa anata ga watashi wa sonomshu o toru tasakita jeru hitsum ga aramasu. I need you to help me take out that gunner. Naruto spoke in the fox's language and smiled as the four foxes nodded. Each a little smaller than the three-tailed one. The smaller one with the sharpest smirked. "Saishi dead or alive?" it asked, once again in the fox's language. "Urebu. Alive," Naruto ordered before running out behind the car, flipping his mask up. Forming hand seals, causing 3 clones of himself to appear. The foxes quickly dashed up the roof, tracking the scent of powder from the gun that just destroyed the first of Naruto's 3 clones. The said boy was sidestepping the aim of Bulletstorm, who shouted for him to hold still. Naruto got out his bow and quickly strung an arrow. The clones did the same, they fired a small barrage of 3 arrows, which were deflected by the metal plating. The man in the suit called over his mic, "Sina, take him out." "Sayonara, Kuzotere, bye-bye asshole," was his only response, and he looked as the boy jumped high into the air. About to deliver the knockout punch. Until someone in samurai uniform came and sliced the man's suit's legs. Causing Naruto miss horribly. The fox boy slid a little on the ground before coming to a stop. The samurai put a finger to his ear. "We got him, including the foxes. Yes, I know they disappeared." Naruto got up and glared hard at the samurai. He was nursing his rapidly healing asphalt burn. "Yo asshole." Naruto Pav. I was furious, I almost took down my first 2 supervillains by myself. Then this asshole comes and steals the show away from my near victory. "Yo, asshole." I shout again, and this time he takes notice. Motioning for me to shut up. "Oh hell no. You look here, I had this under control." The samurai looked at me, anger slowly building anger. My right twitch and I just crossed my arms. He then nodded before turning of his communicator. "You are going to have to come with me, Kitsune-san." My eye twitched even more, and hell no, I was not about come with him. I simply flicked him off before suddenly realizing something. "How do you know my name?" "That is none of your concern, please come with me." I backed up, stringing an arrow into my bow. Several clones formed around me. I focused chakra into the arrowhead, ready to blow up smoke arrows if I had to, only to get surrounded. "Drop your weapons. All 4 of you imposters." I looked around, hearing the sounds of guns clicking around me. I unstrung my bow and put it down. My clones dispersed before I saw the samurai walk towards me. "Were you with them?" he asked. I shook my head. "Are you lying to me?" he asked me, and I gave the same response as before. I watched as he moved his gaze towards my tail and smirked. "You a demon, eh? Well, guess Raven of Titans West won't be the only one of her kind doing heroism for the moment." I felt a little insulted and then he smiled. "Yes, you should put these on," he said, handing me a pair of cuffs, and begrudgingly I put them on. I looked deep into him, he didn't have any ill intent yet. I smirk and move away as he reached for my mask. I grit my teeth afterwards, he just stared at me, shaking his head. "Are you going to be difficult?" I spit onto his armor and stuck my tongue out. He took 1 second and shook his head. "Oh poor baby's armor dirty," I said as soldiers started to escort me. A helicopter-like plane landed in front of me, it was opening. Soon I was inside of it. The door began to close and soon a begrudgingly new chapter would begin in my life. Regardless if I'd want it or not. Tokyo, 3:34 AM, Underground HQ of JTF. Naruto Pav. 3 cases of brutal vigilante justice, each punishable by 3-year jail term for you mutant kind. 7 counts and counting on thievery of minor objects. Like the iPod we found on your person. 5 counts of stalking, along with forced entry. Shall I continue? The charge officer mockingly asked me. I just sat across the table inside this dark room, holding a middle finger to him. "I have to make a living somehow and no I'm not sorry, like you looked for the items anyway pigs." The charge officer's eye lightly twitched. "You have a mouth boy anyway." 3 counts assault and battery. 17 counts of illegal graffiti. I can quote one of them actually, and this my favorite, ahem. "Stupid pigs and posers aren't going to keep you safe, believe inside the darkness." "Is this your wording?" the charge officer said, which Naruto smirked at. So I tagged a few walls and called out, "Your little puppets." I leaned forward smiling all the while, "Sue me." The officer's hand came crashing against my face, all the while I still held my smirk. His hand however, made a crunching sound. "Heard bitch? It's part of being a mutant as you legally have to call me." I replied to the slap, the officer just shook his head. "I can add assault on a police officer to that one, bastard," he said, writing down what I did. What a fucking crybaby. My joy faded with that. "Really, are you allowed to slap me?" He looked at me, getting more and more pissed off. This is what egged me on, so I continued. "Come on, do it again more, damn it." I made him back away from me as flowed my fox spirit's chakra into my eyes. He backed towards the door. I gave him the most toothy smile I could muster. You know we could add cannibalism murder into that if you like. I don't mind, in fact I bet human meat tastes tender. The officer paled as he walked backwards into the door. Haha, look at him, I think he wet his pants. Good, cause his boss is going to wet his once I lawyer up. Yes, there you go, fight that power kid. Who knew you were such a rebel? Kyuubi-san been replaying moments of Red Dawn in your head. We're Wolverines. I thought so you're bored, want to see if I can freak out this guy some more. Go for it, I only wish I had buttered popcorn, damn that was best stuff ever. I can attest that theory with my ramen, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. You seriously need to lay off the raw. Wait, what are doing? I formed a cross symbol and only smirked as smoke filled the room. Normal POV. I see, so he can create smoke, or did you not search his person properly? Asked a samurai from earlier who had took Naruto in for this questioning. Though he had to say, the way he was being treated wasn't exactly what he wanted. The officer by him just sighed. We searched, is he making clones? The man said, pointing at the window. The charge officer inside was paler than a ghost at the sight of the many Naruto inside with him. Pull my man out of there now. Just put that thing on a loudspeaker. The lead officer shouted. The samurai looked at the boy as he chuckled at the charge officer. All the while, he acted like he wasn't being watched. The samurai knew better. Finally the charge officer came back, screaming, crying even. He was going to eat me, my god, he was going to eat me. He wailed. The man shook hard as several civilians came to escort him out. The samurai turned back into the window. No sooner than he did, the clones were gone. Naruto then spoke, so when am I getting a damn drink? The boy said, crossing his arms. The samurai walked towards microphone and tapped it on. He then sighed, when you start giving answers, go ahead and free yourself from the cuffs. The dyed Riti just simply snapped the cuffs without a second thought. Geez, no wonder you posers don't hold anyone you can't even hold, let alone me. The boy insulted the JTF, along with the samurai. Though he had to admit, he did have a point. He just stood there, watching the kid. What would you like to drink? Samurai asked, while removing his helmet. Revealing long brown-haired man, with sideburns. His eyes were dark green, and held much resentment at the moment. I would like some sake please, after all it's not like mommy said I couldn't have it. Naruto mocked himself at that one. The man rolled his eyes. He had to be joking, right? He pressed the intercom button. He took a deep breath, like something for your age group, no alco. He never finished as he saw the boy start bit his hands. Curious, he watched. The boy slammed his hand onto the floor, causing a fox with 3 tails to appear. Last chance, give me sake, or I'll get it myself. Naruto warned. The samurai didn't back down. He fixed his ponytail, but then got curious. Activating the cameras inside the room, he also activated the audio recording. Seeing if any spell incantation would be done. Acid, anata no nixatsu to waninitishu ka. The 3-tailed fox asked. It was just slightly smaller than a tire, like the one that he saw got shot up. Is it the same one? The samurai thought, his green eyes looking at the orange fur of the fox. He watched Naruto bend down one knee and smiled. Watashi wa Erikmaru, Seiko onegai shitai to amamasu. Sorga hajimera me nichndo, watashi ni batoro ateru. The boy almost winked at the fox when he said that. The samurai watched as the fox slowly walked away from its summoner. Walking towards the door, and to the samurai's amazement, it phased right through it. He widened his eyes and was about to send alert out, but suddenly turned back to the window to see Naruto up against it. You really underestimate me, the Ritiid said before the fox came back in. Alcohol in its mouth, which made the man stunned. Had they not seen the fox escape the cell, with the child inside of there? He watched through the glass as Naruto took the bottle, slowly taking a sip out of it. Acid, Amari nominate kudasai. Ninjan wa watashitachi no mawari no subedidesu. He watched as Naruto took a drink, shrugging. He slowly finished the bottle and acted like it didn't even affect him. Kerm, arrogant guzamasu. Shinpatienade, watashi wa daijbudesu. The boy responded to the fox before getting into a pitcher's stance. But the samurai began until Naruto tossed it at the glass pane, shattering the bulletproof glass with the bottle. Setting off the alarm as well, he casually walked barefooted on the glass. Samurai grabbed his sword, which was a long dai katana. Get back in the cell, boy, I will hurt you if I have to. Naruto simply flipped him off and walked towards the door, which would lead into the kitchen. The samurai went to stop him until he saw Naruto simply turn. You got anything to eat? He rhymed. Starving. The man almost hit the ground. This boy could escape, but he wanted food. Was he seriously playing a joke? Naruto caught this and smirked. Oh, I see, should I, a little doggy, get back in their cage? Samurai sheathed his blade but still kept his dominant hand on the hilt. You can make a sandwich, but realize that you now have attempted escape and going against your charge officer's orders. The Ritiid merely shrugged and grabbed some of the meat. she began to eat without even getting the bread. Which made Samurai's eye twitch, he wanted some of that for later. "You're a rude young man," the warrior stated, only to get a shrug from the boy. Who walked back into the cell, chewing a piece of nun sandwich meat he stole from the fridge. Hell, this was a hotel room compared to his small rooftop shacks. So at least he'd enjoy it a little bit. The dyed-haired child swallowed the meat down and patted his stomach. He looked towards his fox. "Per moi, Fukusukashi body. Acid Naruto wa I, watashi wa kutsukao mat kudasai suru kodo ga dekimasu hijmnayu idairu. Hashikan I." Naruto tosses a piece of meat that was left and the fox ate it fast. The fox looked to have a smile on its face as it dispersed, making Samurai eye twitch even more. Since, he was now feeding family, not himself. "Hey, would you gladly speak human?" The boy looked at him smiling, though it was that rude smile you gave to someone you hated. "Sure, I asked Claw if he'd eat you, but he wanted the meat I had in my hand instead." Naruto lied, making the samurai twitch only slight bit more. "You know what I mean, don't talk in that language anymore." Samurai roared an order, though Naruto simply flicked him off. "It's my native tongue, asshole, just like Beast Boy supposedly has Swahili. I have demon speak and you have no right to tell how to speak, you poser." Naruto shouted, slamming his hands on the table before calming down. "You need calm yourself, you are only making things worse on you." The samurai stated, but then sighed. "If you even care. We'll just see what happens then," Naruto replied back, leaning in the chair. "Yeah kid, we'll see." Jump City, 4:23 p.m. The next day. The spiked hair boy walked into a common room which held a large plasma screen TV. He looked over at the crescent-shaped couch and sighed. "We really need to start getting up earlier, guys. Come on, we're all trying to be adults." The boy shouted. The green-haired, green-eyed, and even green-skinned boy came from behind the couch. Slobber lightly stained his mouth. "Dude, come on, it's a Saturday," the boy complained, stretching slightly to release the stiffness of his bones. The spiked-haired boy just twitched his eye slightly. "Beast Boy, you know we have training in the morning." The other boy complained, causing the green boy to roll his eyes. "Yeah, duh, I've been here for a year now. Though, come on, we're all tired. We've been going non-stop for the last I don't know month. 2 months. Beast Boy reasoned. "Look, I am sorry if you are sore or tired. But, we have a city to protect and we must be both mentally along with physically fit to do so." The boy stated with conviction. "Okay Robin, whatever, but good luck getting Raven in up along with Cyborg. I know Starfire should be easy since she always is up this early." The green boy surrendered. The spiked hair boy, now identified as Robin, smirked. "Good, well you get Raven and I'll get Cyborg." Beast Boy paled at Robin's order and just sighed. Already walking towards the girl's room. "You so owe me one and a spleen," the green child said before rounding the corner. Robin was about to make his way to Cyborg when a communication message came from the Justice Tower. It displayed on screen and the one talking was none other than Superman himself. "Hello Robin, right?" The boy wonder looked up at the TV nodding. "Hey there's Superman, what's the news?" Robin asked. The Kryptonian just looked at the boy. Before sighing and looking down at the report. He then stared back towards the tower's room, noticing that Beast Boy went flying across the hallway. Shouting all the way, "I'm sorry." The loud music began blasting, indicating that Cyborg had just woke up. "Are you all under attack at the moment?" Superman asked. Robin shook his head. "No, just the morning hassle." He replied and the Man of Steel nodded. "Okay, well, I am here to grade your team this time. Batman is our hunting bane at the moment, apparently max security can't even hold him." Superman stated while beginning to read paperwork. Robin waited anxiously while the Man of Steel read the paper. The man smirked before throwing the paper behind him. Which was caught by the Flash. "You all have B, with just a minor hiccup at a D. The D is your crime stop rate. I understand that you're only 5, but you need to fight alone at some point. After all, a team is only as strong as its links in the chain, which is why the League has come up with a solution." Superman then stared at Robin. The boy wonder looked a slight bit hurt from the D, but he just brushed it off after a moment. "What's the solution?" he asked before Superman smiled and brought up a roster. "You, along with the other Titans, will be getting a 6th or 7th member. You all just need 6, so we're letting you pick from this pool." Superman said while taking a sip of coffee. He didn't need it, he just liked the taste. Robin looked at the roster before noticing something. "Hey hold up, each of these people have criminal record," he shouted while his team assembled behind him. The others just getting there all had one question. Which was graciously answered by Starfire. "Friend Robin, what is the happening?" she asked. "You seem shocked." "Nothing Starfire, but we're going to have a pick a 6th member from a list of criminals." Superman scowled slightly at the boy but then sighed. Batman had trained him well, But he did inherit his master's distaste for some people. You still have to choose, if you don't in the next 3 days we'll choose for you. Tokyo, at the same time. Restrain him, he's not Koa. A officer shouted while a chair slammed into him. Naruto was pissed off, sure he had broke the office a little bit. Though they held a needle at him, he hated needles. You gladly keep the fuck off me with that damn thing. The officer came from behind Naruto with a stun baton, but the dyed boy easily slipped him. He span around the man, as if he was dancing, using his tail to trip him. Before stomping on his leg, fracturing it. Stop Kitsune-san, it's just a sedative. Samurai shouted, avoiding getting into the fight unless he got deadly violent. The boy is good with physical attacks, I wonder if he has any weight, Samurai observed, until he saw the boy's blue eyes turn a slight tinge of red. His fingernails growing into the claws, last chance, back off with the goddamn needles. The head officer there walked up to him, you will listen to us, you are currently facing serious charges against your person Kitsune. The boy just folded his arms, calming down slightly. I'm not taking whatever is in that damn needle off. He warned. It's just a sedative, it's protocol, and apparently needed. The lead officer stated with authority. I don't give a shit about protocol, so shove it. I'll go quietly, but if you so much as show me another needle you're dead meat. Naruto shouted, showing his fangs. The lead officer moved to the side, move he ordered growling. Naruto walked a little bit more, getting cuffed once again, only to break them. Don't cuff me, he growled, the officers just shook their heads. He's a criminal alright, we oughta lock him up. I don't care if he took down Bulletstorm, he's pushing us. I am seriously getting too old for this job. Yeah. Did you hear that the Titans are recruiting former criminals? Yep. Seriously, is this Brad on the roster? Yeah, he'll be today, but I wouldn't pick him. You know what, if you keep talking behind my back, I'll gladly twist your fucking neck to your back. So you can at least have the decency to look at me when talking about me. Naruto shouted down the hallway, the officers were stunned. He could hear from that far. Samurai all the while was typing up a report and walked away. I need to meet with the roster board, Samurai said while walking away. The man looked at his direction, nodding. They too began walking away. The samurai rounded the corner, walking into a small room, which held a monitor. Begin the report, Samurai-san, is he salvageable? The blackout man on the screen asked, he was part of the roster board, Samurai looked at his report. Yes, I believe he can be salvaged, but at this stage. Any team that gets him will have to suffer through his issues. Samurai reported honestly, and the man on the screen nodded. What about powers, anything of keynote? The man on the screen asked. Yes, he had super strength, maybe 3 times stronger than a human. He seems to hear at the metahuman level. So if the team ever talked behind him, they'd have to wait until he was a very good distance away. The tired-looking man stated. Okay, anything else? The samurai nodded. He seems to be an archer of sorts, very good at close combat. He also ability to summon animals, which are unique in nature. He also seems able to speak in demon song, able to communicate with them. I don't know if he can speak other languages. I forgot to mention, he may have other superhuman talents. The board head listened before nodding. List him. Jump City, 2:39 p.m., 3 days later. The team sat around a large table, they each had came up with 3 candidates to choose from. If they didn't choose, then the Man of Steel was going to pick for them. They looked over the 3 candidates and sighed. Okay, we have Kitsune, Silver Step, and finally Rundown. Robin stated, everyone was looking at him and nodded. I vote 1 Kitsune, his abilities would be an asset to the team in whole. Robin stated while reading the report. Already having someone here with the same personality but not really outgoing about it. So he thought they could handle him. I too vote Kitsune, he seems like the asset. Starfire stated, but in general she was just agreeing with Robin. She had a slight crush on him, so naturally it would incline her to agree with him a little bit here and there. I vote Rundown, the guy's a sniper and he could provide us long-range support. Though Kitsune could provide the same, but arrow won't go through armor. Cyborg stated, and he doesn't have the high-tech ones either. Neither do I have the resources to build him one. I vote Silver Step, we know most of his abilities. He can fly, like me and Starfire. Thus giving a more aerial advantage and more tactical approach. Raven stated, though her second choice would be hard to make. I vote Rundown, guy seems awesome. The table groaned, coming in a one-on-one deadlock. Beast Boy rolled his eyes at them before he saw Silver Step go off the table. Robin rubbed his temple and looked at the 2 photos. Both of them of the people they had to pick from, and then he looked at the one with Kitsune. He was small kid, no more their age. Drinking a beverage while flicking off the camera. He passed the photos around and Beast Boy laughed at Kitsune's photo. Dude seems hilarious, Beast Boy commented. Cyborg looked at the photo. He too chuckled but then noticed the date. It just happened yesterday, I mean holy crap, he just got recently caught. Cyborg asked, while being amazed at this kid being able to stay active this long. Let alone live on his own this long. Yeah woohoo, another Beast Boy. Raven rolled her eyes, looking at the photo. As she touched it however, her eyes glowed slightly. Indicating something else. He's a demon too. What, I thought you were the only good demon. Robin stated, seriously. Yeah still am, I am not in jail right now am I? She retorted back. She makes the excellent point Robin, she is a good person. Starfire complimented Raven. Okay new vote. Tokyo, 6:30 p.m., the same day. Wait what? Naruto shouted as he looked towards the city known as Jump City in a photo, he almost slammed his head into the table. How dare they force him to move? Your choice, be convicted as a criminal or join the TTWC. The officer stated. You are telling me I have no choice in this matter, either go or be in a cell. If I don't go how long will I be in a cell? Naruto shouted, now extremely pissed off. The man paled slightly before he sighed. You would be in a cell until 2075, nearly 7 decades. The boy's right eye twitched and then he sighed in defeat. He had a paper pushed towards him and he looked at it. With one last heavy sigh, Naruto brought a pen down to the line. He signed. I hate you people. Titan Tower, West, 7 p.m. The Teen Titans watched as the plane neared them, inside of it was their new recruit. Raven was anxious, slightly because he was demon, and the other part was that she thought she was the only one of her kind on the planet at the moment. Starfire could feel something akin to energy moving towards, no doubt from the person inside the plane. Robin put his hand to his ear, T-30 seconds. Please mind the cussing. Robin was confused, the Titans never really cussed much. But, oh boy were they in for a reality check. The plane's rotors switched to a twin set of rotors, which slowly descended the small aircraft on top of the Titan Tower. That's when they heard something hit the metal, followed by a loud yell. Restrain him. What did you do? He was calm. Robin heard the pilot over the comlink. He sighed. The boy that they had picked single-handed pushed down the door of the aircraft. He looked towards the pilot. I told you assholes that if you ever gave me a needle, I'd hurt you. I was fucking playing, you stupid Rakutanashi. The redhead shouted, holding his pack behind his back. Dude we're sorry, please stop trashing my aircraft. The pilot shouted, trying to calm the boy. The boy just flipped them off and turned around to see the Teen Titans themselves looking at him. Each of their mouths were agape. Well, almost all of them. Raven took notice of the aura. He has rage out and something else is that, happiness mixed in. She observed the aura, is he happy being angry? Naruto took notice of their current looks and felt the wind blow past him as the plane left. He smirked and pointed at the Titans one at a time. He started with Cyborg. The oldest of the group. Hey Tin Can you show me to my room cause you look like the butler of the bunch. Cyborg cybernetic flashed red, he was already hating this choice of candidate. He watched as the boy looked over to the boy wonder. I guess you are the boy blunder, you look like a duck's ass with that hairstyle. Was he seriously trying to piss them off? Cause he was doing a pretty much good job, even if the boy wonder didn't show it. The boy smirked and went to start with Beast Boy, but was stopped. You say one damn thing about my skin, I'm gonna tear apart as a T-Rex. He shouted at Naruto, but the unnatural red just shook his head. Instead he smirked. You beat me to the punch, I was going to say transform cause out of all you all here. I think I hate you the least. Beast Boy just glared hard, he knew sarcasm. It definitely struck him hard slightly, since he always got made fun for his ability. The boy smirked as he moved to Starfire, and I assume you're the mascot. The redeeded princess of Tamarin blushed slightly, but then asked. What is this mascot? The boy blanched for a second before regaining his passive-aggressive composure. Raven motioned for him to stop. I know what you are, and I know what you are about to say to me. So you kindly can it, she simply stated. The boy looked at her. Before smirking, I guess you are Raven, dark and gloomy for my kin. She narrowed her eyes at him. So what's is your name dude? Beast Boy struggled to say as he was growling at the way he insulted Raven. The boy turned to them and smirked. I'm Kitsune or Uzumaki. Naruto, take your pick. Cause I don't give shit. He stated, crossing his arms. He closed his eyes, scanning them in his head. Starfire was the first one, her energy was pure light. He smirked at it. Robin had a lot of physical energy, but hardly no spiritual energy. Raven was the polar opposite, Beast Boy had an equal amount. Cyborg didn't have neither, since he was part robot. This is the legendary team. I could take them out in an instant if I could just use. Naruto, we discussed this, not until you enter Yamana, my realm. Yeah, I'd lose control and destroy everything around me until I stopped or they stopped me. Bingo, so just hold your frustration. It's not fair man, all I did was steal a little bit but still did good things. Humans don't see that, but you my boy will be okay. Just blend for a little bit. They looked at Naruto as he mouthed something, it was akin to fuck as he mouthed the last bit. Until, he snapped his eyes open, Raven narrowed hers. Noticing that they were slits for a moment. You are listening to your Ra, she didn't get to finish. I respectfully ask that you don't ask whom I am speaking to or even try to mind read me. Yes, I know your powers Raven because someone here other than me being half demon piques my interest. Beast Boy stepped up. Dude seriously quit being rude. Naruto's tail came to the ground, unwrapping from his waist. He looked around before he sighed. Where is my room? He asked, the cybernetic member of the team spoke up. The only room we have left is the basement he stated, but was growling. That I love the darkness, it speak harmony for me. Naruto answered back his liking before slowly walking towards the door. Only be stopped by Robin. Listen here Naruto, we have ground rules here. You are to listen to me at all times and come to team meetings in the morning. If you don't I can write it in your probationary report. You'll be sent back, Robin growled, having regretted this choice. Naruto looked at him before smirking. Good little puppy, tell me more. Are you going to watch me in the bathroom, he insulted before brushing past Robin, who put his hand on Naruto's shoulder, which made the boy stop. Naruto. I am so ready to throw him off this damn roof. Hey, you will listen here, I don't care what other scum you're from. But, you are under my leadership. The first rule is respect, you can't get it unless you give it. Robin shouted. Yeah, you have caused disrespect to us. Starfire added in. Raven chose to remain silent, observing his emotions, which was blaring rage. You kept shooting your mouth since getting here, it's not your turn anymore. Cyborg shouted. Yeah, and you had no right to treat Raven that way either. Isn't she like you? Beast Boy shouted. Naruto used his tail, grabbing Robin's hand. Pulling it off his shoulder, and he turned around. You are all nothing like me, I happy being a hero of my own kind back in Japan. Then after one frigging time, taking down 2 super villains instead of a thank you, I get arrested, so shut your mouth about her being like me. Raven recoiled slightly, but sighed. Watching as he walked into the door. He's so rude, Starfire commented, and Raven nodded. So does anyone regret not having Silver Step? She didn't finish until they heard a yell. At least let me get into the basement, you stupid morons. They all blanched, he could hear them. Robin pinched the breech of his nose, his nerves already shot for the day. It wasn't even 8 o'clock yet. So, seriously, this Naruto guy had managed to make him frustrated beyond belief. He looked towards Beast Boy, who was sweating slightly. Tell me what made you break the tie to bring him in again? Robin inquired, the green boy just twitched his eye before sighing in defeat and slowly he headed in where Naruto had went. Okay guys, let's get some rest, Lord knows we're going to need it. Inside the Titan's basement. Naruto Pav. 8:20 p.m. Darkness, all around me. The way I love it, hidden, away from the world. I don't need cameras, I don't need the glamour, it's not all for show. Unlike these posers, especially Boy Blunder. Batman's protege. If anyone is a protege at Superman, he trained himself from the ground up. Just like I'm doing, no master, no nothing. Well, I do have a giant fox spirit telling some things here and there. But, that's not teaching, it's hints. That's right, hints, like this team needs to take a hint. Posers. The way Beast Boy defended my fellow half-demon didn't exactly edge me the wrong way, but to compare me to her? No, I'm not anything like her. I am not a little loyal dog. I absolutely don't put trust anyone, cause let me tell you what it leads to. Disappointment, sadness, losing someone you call family, living with distrust. Yeah, so would I ever trust the ever-dashing Robin? Nope. I trust only 3 things. Myself, my ways, and my blood. My blood allows my powers, my ways kept me alive, and myself is because I'm not letting anyone in. The only reason why the giant fox spirit doesn't count is because he's protect me. If anything, I consider him my blood. Myself, my blood, my ways. They're derived from him, I mimic his image. The only thing left was for me to get this stupid next technique down pat, 3 months now, not even the second stage complete. So, I took out a rubber ball, a solid rubber ball. More dense than the balloon I had been training with and I was supposed to break it. So, slowly I got a few out of my bag. I placed one in my right hand and flowed chakra into it. Spinning, like life's wheel. I focused hard, getting nothing, but I could tell in the small space that it became a sphere. The fox calls it Rasengan. An ancient technique to fox kin, my kind. I have been dead set, 3 months of training, 3 months of hard brutal chakra control. Even before that, 3 months of absolute building of my reserves, and yes, that was the toughest. Running body training, body control, growing my first tail, that really hurt, learning some chakra techniques daily, and I do mean daily practice, anywhere lasting a good 20 hours. Absolutely no sleep. I did this after a bad day of my life. I wish I had been stronger. Why am I thinking this? Am I so shallow to go back and think about the fucking past? It's gone, it's over with. You are no god, even if you were no. No. I promised myself I'd never think about it again. In my rage, I heard the whistling of high-pressured air and looked down to see the rubber ball, having a hole ripped in the side, another failed attempted to form it properly. Fuck, I said lowly, now clenching the deflated ball. Fuck. I shouted, throwing it into the wall. Keep calm, you'll never get it if you can't control your chakra. Yeah, I was doing fine. Naruto Uzumaki, you aren't where you should be, control anyway. I'd be doing better if it wasn't for the 3 days downtime due to prejudice police work and all that good all shit. Is this emotional duress about he? No, it's not about Isarabi, so don't bring her into this. Hiding it away, it never helps. If you going to make me remember that night, at least let me have some alcohol. Fine, I won't bring it anymore. But now, let's get back to this. I got out another ball, focusing hard on making it into a sphere, like I did with the balloon. I wanted to try and rotate as fast as possible. Seeing if it would achieve a stable state doing so I spam my chakra as fast possible in the ball. Nothing but a perfect sphere. I channeled more chakra to add solidity to the technique. The high whistle of the ball's side being breached just made me just grab the next one. I kept going, each one a failure and each one pissing me off more and more. Fucking shit, goddamn stupid motherfucking asshole licking, fucked of a technique and balls. I shouted, slamming the last failed ball I had into the unfurnished wall. I punched the damn thing out of anger, causing it to slightly crack, along hurting my hand. Fuck. Common room, Titans Tower West, 9:45 p.m. normal POV. Beast Boy and Cyborg were playing a racing game on the giant flat screen TV. In the common room. Yes, got you Psy, my guy's going turbo. Beast Boy shouted and Psy was having a stressful look on his face, biting his tongue slightly. Heavy metal music was playing while Starfire and Robin were cheering on the sideline. Starfire was cheering for Beast Boy while Cyborg was being egged on by Robin. The metallic team managed to pop a box on the screen and smirked. "Heat seekers?" he shouted, making Beast Boy pale. "Oh heck no." BB shouted, trying to speed up his car and almost makes it to the finish line, almost. Cyborg shouted, "Booyah-ha-ha," as his missiles hit Beast Boy's car, making the boy just stop short of the finish line. Cyborg passed him up, doing a donut as he did. Beast Boy stuttered slightly before he looked toward Cyborg and bowed. "You're the master of Mario Kart. Happy?" BB asked, the metallic team gave him a smug smile. Holding out his hand, BB knowing what this meant, simply handed him the $5 he bet and lost. They turned to see the elevator open, with Naruto holding his hand wrapped in a towel. It was bloody. "Yo dude, what happened?" BB asked, the Redeed simply shot him a glare before walking into the kitchen. Naruto went to the sink and removed the towel. A piece of his finger bone was jutting out of the skin. "Son of a," he growled out before pulling his finger. Making the bone sink back, he then closed his eyes. Red circles formed around them as his wound began to heal. He made sure to run it underwater so that his blood could get a helpful boost fighting any infection that could take place. Since being fox-kin, clean, fresh water made him heal faster. It was sort of a binding natural clause to nature demons. A sound of snapping bone could be heard in the kitchen and the team slowly came in. Beast Boy was the first to see the bone reset. "Dude, are you okay?" he shouted, running to meet Naruto. Only for the Redeed to open his eyes and stop him in his tracks. They were blood red and slowly a red glow formed around his broken palm. "I am just fine, good demonic lord, you act like I'm fragile," he stated, rudely as possible. Throwing away the blooded rag in a trash can, Beast Boy had a look of frustration. "Dude, I was just checking." Naruto looked at him with an odd look before shrugging. "You think this is the worst I ever had? I do this on a daily basis," Naruto stated, pushing past him. He had a hand go onto his shoulder, this time it was Tin Man. "Look dude, just stop being rude, okay?" Cyborg reasoned, only to feel the boy's tail wrap around his arm. "Yeah, sure, violate my personal space while you're giving me a lecture, that's really going help me like you." Naruto lectured insulted, pulling Cyborg's arm off with his tail. The team watched as the boy walked towards the elevator, only for it to open as Raven stopped in front of him. She looked at him, lowering her head slightly, shaking it. Naruto caught the meaning and looked at her. "You either say something or you regret it later," he said. She looked at him. Raven snapped around and growled at him. "That is it, I have had it," she roared, forming a black energy into her hands. Naruto just stood there, already having chakra flow into his hands. Robin stepped between them. "Naruto, go to your room." "Raven, calm down," he ordered. "How about you go fuck yourself, bird boy," he said to Robin and then looked at Raven. "What's wrong, demon kin? My little words hurt your feelings." Grow the fuck up little girl, because words don't account for bullets or knives. She glared even harder and I never asked to be part of this team. It was this or 70 years in jail for bullshit. You keep being rude to my friends, you stupid fox demon, why don't you go back into your room? Before I put blood all over this tower, you piece of crap. She shouted. Naruto simply beckoned her with his hands. Dude poser, come on I said Braiga. Naruto shouted out as he was blaster with a black energy bolt. He smirked, getting up after being knocked down. His dark smile came back to his face, weak. He looked at her, she was stunned to see how he had got to her. You paid much attention to words, you'll die by action. He cryptically stated before pressing the button to go down. Robin and the team watched as the door closed. His dark smile never leaving his face. Starfire was the first one to say something after the event. I think Naruto is not a wanting friend to us, she solemnly said. He's got a grudge on Raven, the said blue-hooded girl just sighed, calming down. Before lowering to her feet and deactivating her powers. I think you should just ride him up, man, come on Robin. Beast Boy stated, only for the boy wonder to shake his head. We can't, not until 30 days has passed, cause that's how long we have to give him until he can be reported. The team blanched at that. Who in hell made that stupid rule? Cyborg shouted before Robin looked down. Superman. Inside the basement, 30 minutes later. Naruto Pav. Come on, seriously. Was that necessarily needed? Made them shut up and made that stupid demon kin of mine speak her mind towards me. I thought you'd be happy, you know, seeing another of your kind. She is not my kind, she isn't too far gone and she doesn't have a blood scent. Naruto, that doesn't mean. It does to me, damn it, it does to me. They never suffered, I'm proving a point, they've never had anyone make fun of them, so used to glamorous things of being a hero. You were the same way, I remember at 6, when you took down a thief in her store, albeit you were an orphan then weak. Yeah, and how did I repay her for her kindness, Kurama-sama? Tell me. Kit, you haven't used that name in years. Don't get used to it either. Look, what happened that night, it wasn't your fault. Then whose was it, Kurama-sama? If I was unable to grow up and save her, whose was it? That's what I thought. Naruto sat there, on the cold floor. He looked at his claws, making them retract and such. I promise I'll kill them all, just need a little more time. The basement, 2 days later, 5 AM, Naruto Pav. My hand was bleeding across the ground, I looked myself in a puddle of spilled water. I've been up for a while now, 18 hours constantly training. The fox spirit is hinting that if I meditate too long, then my body will slowly fade from its condition. I growl at myself, forming 3 clones around me. Bring it was the only thing I got to say, and one of my clones was already besetting me with a fist to myself. I managed to bring out my hidden knife, one I kept under my Shizoku sleeve. I backward thrust my elbow into the clone's face, making it stumble, before finally I stab it in the heart. It dispels, but my other 2 were already on top of my. I managed to get one, slicing it across the neck, but the other one managed to land his foot into my face. My nose broke from that kick, blood slowly gushed from nostrils. The metallic smell of blood was so strong, I could taste it. You can do better more. I closed my eyes and slowly formed more clones. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 clones. I brought out my other knife and held both of them reversed grip. I watched as the clones charged at me and I got ready. The first one brought out his own knife and I managed to block it with my left knife. Holding him in a deadlock, for which ended with knife gliding across his skull. I felt a presence behind me and sent my foot back. Striking a clone hard in the chest, knocking it into the wall. It was hard enough to leave an impression, another one came from my side. I simply thrust my knife that way, stabbing it into the neck. My eyes burned with sweat, they glowed red from the demonic energy I had pulsing through my body at the moment. My hands also started to glow and I decided to drop my knives. Kuru, I simply say demon song and they all charged. All 6 of the remaining clones, the first one made it to me and it got my palm in its face. I unleashed a wave of my chakra, making it explode. The next one simply had my claw meet its throat. Control, remember that the bloodlust is your friend and your greatest weapon. 4 remained. I felt a tail come around my neck, constricting my airway. I choked a little bit but thrashed about. Enough to loosen the grip and backwards headbutt the clone. Sending him stumbling backwards, I stumped my foot on a knife before slide kicking it into the air. I took aim before flipped on my hands and kicked the knife into the clone's chest. Dispersing it. 3 left. I continued my barrage of ass kicking and found the third to last clone holding my bow. It loosed an arrow, which I barely dodged. Clanging against the floor, where if I had not moved, my leg obscured. The other 2 clones took this moment of distraction and simultaneously smashed their fist into my face. Knocking me into the wall, leaving another impression. I coughed off blood and fell to my knees. I waited until they got closer, thinking I was defeated. That's when I unleashed my own simultaneous attack. My tail, I hardened with chakra, slammed into the clone's chest. Killing it, and I pushed the forearm of the other clone towards its own neck. Breaking it. The last one, the one with the bow, and the one with the original. It took another arrow, and ready to launch it. Only for me to find a knife, it got thrown quicker than it could move its hands off the string. Needless to say, the knife went into its eye socket, dispersing it. I was breathing slightly heavy, having already done this 17 times. A total of 70 clones have been killed so far, but I knew my practice was far from over. This was to increase my chakra reserve some more, along with my body. No doubt the poser would at least need me at some point, might as well not get lazy. I looked at my Shizoku, it had blood stains in it. I sighed and looked around my now lit up room. The Tin Man had installed lights the other day, and lights that I just now turned on. The light slightly hurt my eyes, but I paid no heed to it. I looked to see some blood smears on the ground, probably because I had blood slowly trickling down my mouth. Fuck, I said, slowly readjusting a broke finger. You still good to go? Yes. I think you can do say 15 clones. All with knives. Ops room, 6:45 AM normal POV. Oh glorious morning fellow friends, isn't the sun most beautiful today? Starfire announced, the others came in, except Robin. Being groggy and looking like they were tired as hell. The boy wonder was looking ready to start the day as usual and took his seat at the head of the table. Morning Eve, wait, where is Uzumaki? He questioned, he looked around. This was the second all the time he has missed a meeting and today they had combat training. The others looked around while Raven rolled her eyes. She heard the intercom turn on and sighed. They couldn't just ignore him, could they? Uzumaki Naruto, aka Kitsune. Please come to the ops room at this time, please come to the ops room at this time. Robin stated professionally over the intercom, he stood up waiting. A few minutes went by, which turned into a half an hour. Friend Robin, I think we put as they, a reminder of a wake up. Starfire stated, though in poor taste the English language. Bird Boy pressed the intercom button again. Uzumaki Naruto, aka Kitsune. He growled the last part out, but got no answer. Hell, didn't the idiot know how to use a intercom? The sound of something crashing, followed a chorus of yelling threw them off. Stupid fucking clone. Fuck you, ASSHOLE. You idiot, it's kissin' ass. Fuck ah. The others just stood up, not wanting to move. The only thing that made them move was a clone flying past them, shattering a glass window. Though didn't know it was a clone, Titans Jiwa. Robin started, but watched as another followed suit. Naruto came walking in, dragging a clone with him. He looked at them, before snapping on the clone's neck. A snap was heard from the clone, before it bursts into smoke. Everyone had a mixed reaction about what they saw. Robin was on the fence, on one end he was impressed. On the other, he had just smashed a damn window, and he'd never hear the end of it from Cyborg. Cyborg was visually pissed off, but was shutting his mouth when he saw the blood coming out of Naruto's mouth. Beast Boy saw the brutality of his method and cringed, knowing that an old friend of his had a similar method of fighting. Starfire was really having mixed feelings. She was disgusted about how brutal he was, having a sister that pulled the same stuff inside her home planet of Tamarin. Though, she was slightly impressed due to her Tamaranian culture being strong inside of her. Raven stood there blankly staring, her Amada clones were doing the mixed feelings of it all. Happy was disgusted, Knowledge knew what had happened, Rage was slightly intrigued. The blooded boy in front of them simply looked at them, what are you looking at? Robin was half ready to help the prick before he made the snide comment. The cuts on Naruto's face though kept bleeding slightly. Dude, come on seriously you got some issues. Beast Boy commented, though the stare Naruto gave him was that of pure anger. The Redeed Boy only then smirked before he looked at the leader of the posers. He took a seat and propped his feet on the table, which were covered in blood. Everyone looked at him as if he had just killed someone. Naruto, where is all that blood coming from? Robin asked, though the incredulous stare the boy wonder gave Naruto was only making the dyed Redeed stare back. Got a problem, Bird Boy. Naruto said, rubbing his tail, which came off his waist. He always liked to rub his tail, even if he didn't admit it. The two boys stared at each other before Robin shook his head. He then got down to business, anyway team as you know. It is time for training well was. He stated while staring at Naruto, who shrugged. Cracking his neck slightly, making popping noises. The bird boy just rolled his eyes under his mask before he went back. Anyway, today I have all of us patrolling the city. Starfire will be with me, Cyborg or Beast Boy. You take Naruto, show him the ropes. Raven, you take who doesn't want Naruto. The half-demon glared hard at Robin. If he only knew. Well, kid show time. Yeah. They all got up, Titans go. Robin shouted while Starfire and him ran off. Raven, waiting for her partner, saw the two friends look at each other, doing rock paper scissors. Cyborg won out. Beast Boy sighed before waving goodbye. He turned to Naruto, who was now leaning against the wall. "So Beast Boy, wanna party with this animal?" Naruto asked, knowing he couldn't back out of it. Which made the other boy cringe. If this boy didn't mind being bloody from himself, he knew damn well that he wouldn't mind doing to others. The beast and the fox moved out. Naruto walked with his tail hanging loose and looked at the green-skinned boy, who was fidgeting slightly to tell him the rules of engagement. "Hey, dude, listen, aha." Naruto's fox eyes looked at him, motioning for him to continue. "You know how to fight, but here in Jump City we have rules of engagement. They're simple, but honestly hard to go by. We're not allowed to kill, so no killing, bro." Naruto rolled his eyes. "Posers. Though we're not allowed to kill, we can subdue. Also, no stealing, I'll have to report you." Naruto knew that rule was made for him, and the boy looked at him, giving him a nod. The green-clad boy nodded, and he continued. "Also, since you don't have a communicator, you have to stick by me if we get into trouble." The fox boy stopped before he smirked. The green-clad boy turned to him. "What?" Naruto simply brushed past him, already knowing how to make this guy's day a living hell. "Oh, he would too. Jump City, 2 p.m. "Oh, come on, give us your money." A thief shouted, holding a AK-47 in the air, shooting a few bullets into the air. Several others held hostages as the bank teller got the manager's keys. The teller was fidgeting, making the thief more angry. "Come on already." The sound of someone walking made the thief turn around. Only to have a tail come around his neck, a small green mouse crept past him. A navy blue-dressed boy, clad in a ninja-like robe, kept his red tail over the man's neck. The green mouse transformed back into Beast Boy, who looked at him, whispering, "Dude, stop, I think he's done." Naruto simply loosened the grip. The thief fell down, barely breathing. The bank teller looked at them. "There is 3 more, please save them," she begged, while whispering. The green boy was about to charge in as a gorilla, when the sound of a vent lid hit the ground made him stop, and he barely enough to time transform into a fly when a robber came to check on his buddy. "Hey, bitch, what hapga?" The man silently sounded his pain. Beast Boy re-transformed into his human self. Knocking the man out cold, he heard the sounds of crawling, very fast crawling coming from the vents. "He's going to get those people killed." Panicked Beast Boy, who motioned for the woman to stay down. The next thing he saw, through the blurred glass window, was the sight of one of the gunmen getting hanged by a wired noose before the other started to fire. "Shit." Beast Boy yelled, only to charge to where he saw Naruto grabbing the gun off the last robber, who backed up against the wall, holding his pistol at the half-demon. The other robber hung, barely conscious. "Head back," he yelled. Naruto went to charge, but the man grabbed a woman. "I'll blow her fucking brains out, man, I'll do it." The duo of titans watched as the man clicked the hammer. Naruto only glared harder. "I am giving one chance, sir, if you don't put the gun down and surrender. I'll be forced to subdue you." Naruto strained out. The man just looked at him and laughed. That was the snapping point. Faster than the eye could see, Naruto was right in front of the man, holding his hand over the gun's muzzle. It fired, making a hole inside the boy's hand. Though this only caused Naruto to pulse chakra into the gun, making it blow up in the man's hand. Blood was pouring from both their hands, but Naruto didn't show any sign of pain. The man watched as the woman he held ran behind the green guy. "Kitsune, stop," BB ordered, trying to sound tough. He only watched as Naruto grabbed the man's hand before squeezing it hard. "Everyone out," Naruto shouted. The crowd of hostages made haste and ran out. Naruto raised the man up. "You sick bastard, you were really going to pull trigger, weren't you?" Naruto asked, sniffing the man over. Seeing if he had explosive, he found none. Beast Boy was trying to cut down the hanged man before he actually died. That's when his advanced hearing heard a snap and saw a bone jutting out of the man's leg. Beast Boy saw Naruto's foot firmly placed on his leg too. "Naruto, stop, he's down, dude." The half-demon simply raised the man back up. Before slamming a palm into his face, he crouched down, glaring hard into the man's eyes before holding a claw to his neck. "If you ever think about doing stuff like this again, or even attempting a break-in, I'll gut you," Naruto stated. "Are we clear?" The man nodded furiously, scared out of his man. He started to piss himself, and Naruto smiled. He took out a knife, and Beast Boy shouted. "Dude, don't," he shouted, trying to release the hung man, who was starting to run low on air. However, the next thing Beast Boy knew was the knife cutting the wire. The knife placed itself inside the wall, the stone-reinforced wall, opposite of Naruto. He smiled, walking towards the door. "Let's go, Beast Boy," he ordered this time. The green boy just stared in shock. Had he just saw that? He ran out after Naruto, only to see that crowd cheering for him. "Titans, Titans." They cheered, but from outside the crowd he couldn't see Naruto. The said half-demon was actually inside the alleyway behind the bank. He was avoiding the crowd. Jump city rooftops. 3:49 p.m. Naruto slowly held his palm, which had a hole in it. He focused red energy into it, healing it ever slowly. Good job kid, that's a way to send a message. The boy nodded, slowly pulling out previous bone fragments. Beast Boy finally found Naruto's scent. Arriving at the rooftops and saw the Redeed with his mask and hood down. Healing the hole in his hand, dude seriously, what is your malfunction? BB yelled at Naruto. The Redeed boy looked back at him, smirking, you said subdue. He then went back to healing his hand. Yeah I did, and he was down. So why did you break his leg? BB demanded, the Redeed stopped before noticing the wound was completely. He smirked. Because, I want to send a message I'm not like you posers. Naruto stated, standing up, putting his back to the city. Beast Boy had enough, we're not posers. He transformed into a cheetah. Intent of ramming Naruto, only for the Redeed to easily dodge him. The changeling barely changed into a bird in time to avoid asphalt. He looked at Naruto, stunned, before transforming back. Dude no way, he stated in disbelief. I'm superior to you poser, so back off of me, call your little buddies. Tell them that we just got down with a bank robbery. I'm really sick and tired of this day. I'd rather prefer the other half-demon Naruto stated, mentioning Raven. Dude don't you even start. You think so better than everyone else, you are just a sad excuse of Wannabe Slade. Beast Boy shouted, Naruto just stared at him blankly. Before he shook his head, giving a frustrated sigh. I don't even want to be here anyway, JDF scum, and your Justice League forced the matter. So suck it up, besides if you so-called heroes done a better job in Japan, then nothing would be wrong. Naruto blurted out, before shutting his mouth. What was that? Beast Boy asked, noticing how quickly the half-demon put his hand over his mouth. The said half-demon just started going into a cussing fit, cussing BB, and even the city out. Before he finally calmed down, and looked at him. Nothing, but by the end of 30 days, I'm out. I'm not going to JDF either, so you can suck on that one. Beast Boy looked at him, their new member was crazy. He felt himself going into comfort mode, something Elastigirl taught him while he was inside Doom Patrol. Dude what happened in Japan? Naruto looked at him, before flicking him off. I don't want to talk about it, so drop it. He yelled, and this made Beast Boy recoil. He walked closer to Naruto and finally noticed something else inside the boy's eyes. Besides anger, rage, and all that good jazz. The boy had a bit of fear in them, and loneliness. Almost a form of sadness. Dude's got some bad issues. Beast Boy thought. He watched as Naruto looked back over the city. Waiting on the other titans to yell at him, but he didn't care. Besides, he'd be able to sleep tonight since training days didn't move into Friday. Slowly Naruto closed his eyes and he sat back down. Waiting. I'm such a loud mouth. Naruto's room, Titan's West Tower, 7 p.m. The next day Naruto Pav. Your concrete heart isn't beating, but you're trying to make it come alive. I slowly shifted my stance, focusing my chakra. The rubber ball in my hand bursts in my hand, not like before. This time, it blew apart. I smiled, finally fucking got it, I cursed congratulated myself. I took my only free day off and managed to finally perfect the second stage, growing curious. I didn't use an object to channel the chakra into. I merely did it visually, and soon the dark room was flooded with a small blue ball of light in my hands. Beautiful isn't it? I remember a long time ago. My former kid perfected the same thing. He would have been done by now, but the fact remains Naruto you have just formed the second base of the technique. Power. It's so round, is it usable right now? Yes it's very usable right now, but with the next training for it, focus, it'll lack tact to use it. How do I do that? You must form this very ball into a small balloon. Decrease its eyes, but wouldn't that decrease the power? No, it would focus it, more powerful things are focus rather than all about. I looked at it and smiled. A very genuine smile, one that I gave very rarely. I slowly moved my hand about, holding the ancient technique with care, as if it was a child. The ball finally faded into chakra, which blew away from my palm. I decided to do it again. This time focusing more chakra into the sphere, which only grew its size. Though this meant it came with increased weight, it was around large balloon size now. I bounced it around slightly and cupped my other hand under it. The music ended, but in my head. The swirling sound was the music, like a flow of water. I rotated my palm under the sphere and it followed it as it was connected to me. Which I figured I acted as a generator for it, if I'd stop chakra it'd fade. You are wasting a lot of chakra at the moment. Sorry it reminds me of her eyes Kurama-sama. Yes I know kid, I know. Her beautiful chocolate-like eyes filled with love, just like mine were I'd call her mother, but other than her eyes she was nothing like me. Long black hair, short for her age, I still called her Kachan and my tongue out of respect. Naruto, about the hunting part of the plan, we can't find them alone. I know that, damn it, don't ruin this moment we're having. I am also saying, maybe she'd like you to move on. I stopped my chakra, letting the darkness fade back into the room. The music radio, that I had been given by Beast Boy as a way to see if music would calm me down, went into a piano musical. So much for him being unsophisticated in the sense of taste. My slip yesterday was paled in comparison of what would have happened to him if I had not let it go. I can't do it, Kurama, I can't do it, I can't move on. Not after what they did to her, not after seeing that. I need to find them, and they deserve to die. Isarabi Urushi wouldn't want to be like this forever, even for those posers in there. She'd love to see her only child, the one she considered a son, be happy. Did she not die for that, for you? Will you shut the fuck up? Have ever felt a mother's touch, Kurama? You are stuck inside of me, always have been. You have no idea, no clue on how much I hate them. Figures, this happy moment would be fucked up. My tears stung at my eyes. I sniffled slightly and laid down. Curling up all of this sudden change, I hated it. Don't kid me, I hate it, Kurama. I hate the fact that it seems no matter how hard I'd look for them, they'd left nothing. I couldn't find them in Japan, I can't find them here. Naruto Uzumaki, you have to face a little fact, they may be dead too. Then I hope they burn in hell for what they'd done to her. You still not saying the rest of what you want to say? Alright, what the hell? If I'd let this hate go, what do I have to run on? I have nothing, I have no friends, I have hate these fucking posers. I watched Beast Boy celebrate with the crowd. Like some fucking big shot. Naruto, you are in fragments, you can't do it alone. I can do it alone. I have been doing it alone since she died. I can't seem to find anyone else to look past what I was, and I hold animosity to everyone here, especially her. The other half demon. Yes, I hate the fact she broods for what? She has everything I ever wanted. Friends, a place to live, and not be forced to do anything. I raised back up as I heard the gears of the elevator start getting closer to me. What the hell, I said inside my head, breaking my link to the Kyuubi. I waited as it came down and opened, revealing Beast Boy carrying a tray of food with him. He had a cringing look on his face. Hey dude, I know you hate me and everything. But, hell, even you have to eat. You know. I looked at him and nodded, motioning for him to continue, but he got a small smile on his face. You are listening to my music, man. I know you can hear the rock and roll upstairs, but I do like a little symphonic music every now and then. I sighed and laid back on the bed mat I had brought with me from Japan. It was lightly stained with blood, my blood. I look at him and shake my head. Why don't do like the others? Stop. I ain't ever going to be like you people, and I have my reasons. The boy looked at me before still walked over to me, setting the tray down and smiled. You know, I kind of have the feeling that me and you know more about each other than we think on the outside. I glared at him like he would know. He still pushed the tray towards me, which was full of meat. I didn't really like meat. Besides fish. You see, man, the poser thing, it does hurt a little. Cause we got to be in the media, he keeps the people's hopes up. Makes them dream. Dream big. Beast Boy talked to me. Dreams there for the people with good lives, I stated, trying to do my best and scoff at him. He smirked and looked at me with caring eyes. Bud, tragedy isn't limit to you, dude. I lost both my parents when I was younger. Around 5, so about a good 9 years ago. My eyes widened at that and I turned around. Not wanting him to see my surprise. Tears breached my eyes now. I kind of felt bad for my way of thinking. Not for the others, but to him. I stared back at him. Dude, don't tell me you had the same thing happen. I just nodded in response to his question. So, was it an accident? I shook my head. I began to sniffle slightly. Still holding it in, but slowly it broke down. I finally spoke up. Murder, it was murder with a dash of RR. I didn't want to say it aloud because then the memory would come crawling back to me. He just looked at me and his eyes filled with pity. Dude, so that's why you're so brutal, are they? You know, in jail. I shook my head. They ran away, still missing. I'm looking though. I replied, now touching a piece of lettuce. That ain't right, man, so, tell me, why were you so mad to be caught by the JDF? I know you stole sometimes, but why not do honest work? I started to sob, but it quickly turned to anger. I slammed my hand on the tray, breaking it. Obviously startling Beast Boy, who backed away. I looked at him. Before shouting, tears falling down my face. Are you blind, goddammit? Look at me, I'm a half-demon, unlike Raven. I can't hide what I am, I can't just have glowing eyes. I have fucking pair of ears that are on my head and this goddamn red tail. You want to hear something funny? They treated me like a demon, all except Isarabi. All except her. So there you go, I stole so I could at least eat something. I ate stale bread, I ate fucking expired food. I stole an iPod because hell, why not have nice thing, and even the TV I had was already stolen from someone else. So they'd never miss it. The JDF still charged me with that, the officers there treated me like shit. They dogged me, made me angry. I wanted something to drink, they wouldn't let me have anything so I took it. I threatened them because they threatened me. I shouted and screamed. My rage boiling. I hit the wall behind me, constantly over and over. Each paragraph, a symphony of my hatred, each syllable a death I would collect recompense for what the world has done to me. I was angry, I am so angry. I can feel the hatred pour over, dude stop. Beast Boy shouted, I noticed that my hand was bleed profusely. Blood dripped down on the wall, and I looked at it. Before, I stared at him. Go he fidgeted a little bit, but then I got angrier. I said leave, goddammit you stupid fucking asshole. Naruto listen dude this anger is built up, you need to let it go. I can't you idiot, if I did everything will burn. What? I said leave. He just slowly started to walk away, but before he stepped into the elevator. My name's Garfield Naruto just so we know each other's real name I'm sorry. Beast Boy said, having a lone tear of his fall down. I watched as the elevator went up and started crying. Kami wa naze anata wa watashi o for sekente iru. Anata wa hanri kanoho otada watashi no ishi mai hahanaze. Naze watashi nai kati. Naze anata chikishma, naze. My dark chakra started to flow outwards and suddenly I could hear this screeching desire. I scrapped my claws against the concrete floor. Before, I moved them to my arm. I started feeling my hand boil in pain and I looked to see my mangled hand heal. I started breathing, I started hyperventilating, my breathing so rapid. I couldn't keep up. So fell down while feeling another sharp pain in my head. Followed by burning, like my body was burning. I just screamed inside my head, crying. Isarabi. Haha. Haha. Titan's Tower, dining room. A few minutes later. Beast Boy came up from the basement and walked through the common room. He went into the dining room where everyone else was eating, except Naruto. Who had blew up on him and in a way he understood why. Talking about dead loved ones that you watch die it's kind of a touchy subject. The green-haired chromatically challenged teen took his usual seat. Friend Beast Boy, where have gone? Starfire asked, but saw his depressed look. He looked towards them. I went and had a talk with Naruto needless to say he shut me out. The group rolled their eyes, well except Starfire. The first one to say something was Cyborg, who sounded slightly irritated. The kid's just a spoiled brat, I mean come on, there is no reason for this attitude of his. He's just mad he got caught and either this or jail. Beast Boy slightly recoiled from this because he knew damn well Naruto had reasons. I honestly have to agree with Cyborg, he's being a bad media object to us. I mean, subduing is our operation and let our justice system do its best. Though he seems ready to kill, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't added murder to his profile. Robin agreed, which caused Beast Boy to shake his head. Maybe Naruto did kill, but when he shut him out, he never got the answer. I don't trust him Raven said, she was reading a book. Trying to keep out of the conversation as much possible. Though the massive pulse of rage startled slightly, but the interesting thing was when she looked at Beast Boy. He had sadder aura, where it should have been at the very least irritated. She quickly put two and two together. You've been talking to him haven't you? Beast Boy didn't lie, instead he nodded. Playing with his veggie burger with his fork. Yeah, everyone turned to him, Starfire then slightly questioned him. Was he being the ass? Beast Boy did a hand movement for 50-50, but then shook his head. No Star I walked in on him crying. Beast Boy simply told the truth, which raised the attention of everyone at the table. Including Raven. So, let me guess, crying because we yelled at him for breaking the crook's leg. Beast Boy shook his head. He then sighed, before getting up from the table. Deciding it would be best not to betray the little trust he had gained with Naruto, if at all. Sorry guys, I'm not really hungry. He simply stated, before getting up. He was heading to his abode when Sai stopped him. BB, what's up man? What did he say, did he threaten you? The green-skinned boy shook his head, before he sighed. Sai, I am not saying anything about it, it's something he has to say on his own you know. Sai looked stunned, when was Beast Boy this mature? He did a quick scan, which didn't go unnoticed, dude I'm fine. Just a little tired. The mechanical man watched as BB took his leave, sighing. I'm really tired of that guy's crap, now he has BB in the blues. Starfire slightly nodded, but she saw the conflict in what he was trying to do. Raven did as well, but she really didn't care much for the kitsune demon in their basement. Robin on the other hand nodded in agreement with Cyborg. He pressed the intercom button, Naruto Uzumaki, please come up to the dining room. They waited for an hour, and the fox boy never showed up to the dining room. This always gave Robin an ire. So, tired of the fella lad's shit. He got his bow staff and headed for the elevator. Though, the monitor popped up as he passed the common room. Boy wonder. Batman yelled, obviously not happy with his pupil. The bird boy stopped and turned to his master. Where he bowed, yes Batman. The man looked at him, holding a report. This is an disciplinary report for the one known as Uzumaki Naruto or Kitsune. Please explain why. Especially so early on. The boy wonder looked at his master before glaring hard at the picture on the paper. Because he is disobedient, rude, hateful, spiteful, and has almost physically harmed a teammate. I for one will not tolerate this. The man of the darkness nodded and smirked under his mask. Before, much to Robin's surprise, he tore up the paper. Listen boy wonder, I hate to say this to you, but you need to look where you came from. Do you really think someone is spiteful for no reason? The boy wonder just shook his head, even Batman had a soft spot for that ass in the basement. Batman sighed before looking at Robin. I was a member of the League of Shadows at one point Robin, and needless to say for that alone I should be in the cryo chamber. But, the thing is I changed and saved myself. You need look at him more, for there are always two sides to a story. There's no two sides to his, he's a thief. A reckless, non-law-abiding idiot. Batman shook his head before typing on the computer. He then looked at the boy wonder before sighing. Already getting a headache from this. Listen, I am simply going to ask that you look into Japan's JTF director Fuka Umaga. She is an informant for the Justice League and may have something of background on Naruto. If something comes up and he's just being a brat, you have my permission to dismiss him for the Titans. If there is anything else, you are stuck with him, got it? Robin sighed before begrudgingly agreeing with his old master. Yes, sir. Unknown location, Jump City, 3 a.m. The robbery failed, sir, a man said, kneeling towards a masked man. Who bore a Latin accent. He looked at the man before holding a gun. The next sound was a bullet piercing the man's skull, but the others ones he had got out of jail, looked at him bowing. Unafraid, master, we were attacked by something unearth-like. He was working with the Titans. The man stepped up from his seat, revealing dark armor, with a welder's mask, with 3 slit holes where the mouth was. Tell me what he looks like, the man lightly commanded. Jump City, 2 days later, 2 p.m. Jump City Park. Naruto, wearing his custom Shizuku, walked with down the street. Today was a rare day for many Titans, well posers in his mind. They got the day off and he decided to not stick around in the tower. He liked the basement and the fox was giving him the day off from his training inside of it. It felt kind of nice to be back inside the light of the sun. It was most certainly not like Japan though, wasn't so crowded in the central high-rises there. Plus, there was hardly no clouds when Japan would usually be ready to rain. He'd be lying if he said Jump City didn't have beauty. He was actually on his way to the park, having heard that it was closed down for the day, he would have some peace and quiet. Like he had inside the forest of the dead inside Japan. Many people never ventured there due to the mass bones there, but Naruto braved his way. Having had a very good meditation spot, but sadly it was all past now. He was here, in America, somewhere in his mind he didn't belong. The fact remains, compared to more politically charged countries, America seemed rather childish on how they did things. Like the media never reported anything good, always something bad. The government leaders squabbled for votes, like petty children. None more so than a place called Kentucky. He had to admit though, some places, by just reading some books looked amazing. Like Montana or Arizona. Yes, the last one was mostly desert dry lands, but it had 3 things. A small population compared to most states, open lands, and from what he had heard a rich history. Though he'd like to go visit Ohio one day, the massive river beckoned him. Hell, maybe after his 30 days, he'd run there. Live in the forests, training day in and out. Until he was ready to go back to Japan and start his war over again. The last reports he had from there, via radio he had on inside the tower, stated that crime was back on the rise. He would be there right now, mopping up the messes the posers made. He was tactical and efficient. In the actuality of things, he could have joined the Yakuza. He was native-born Japanese, but his blonde hair blue eye combo may have burned his chance at that. Though, it wasn't exactly unheard of the organization for recruiting such people. Even criminals must compromise. Birds kept chirping in the air around him. Making music as they flew by. The matters of his complicated reveal of part of history to Beast Boy seemed to plague his mind a little bit. He had gone off on him and though by all means he asked for it. It still made the retard feel bad. Get you holding up okay? You cut my connection to you a couple of days ago. I'm fine, just I had remembered what they did. Kid, about what you said I agree, they deserve nothing more than death. But, I am asking you not to be selfish about your feelings. Yeah. I'm being serious, the Beast Boy Garfield. He didn't have to come down to your room like he did, he'd been perfectly fine staying with his friends. Look, Kurama, I'm sorry. Okay, I just don't want to be here. You want to go back, do you? I was close, I could feel it, just something didn't seem right. Even the Yakuza had nothing to do with them. Yes, so we need to face a reality here. It will hurt, but maybe it was just random. They did have the particular psychotic side to them. No shit. Naruto, crying aloud doesn't make you weak, and I'm sorry if I had taught you something else other than that. You didn't, I just feel weak when I cry. Because, besides you, Isarabi was the only one I cried to. I understand, bud, trust me kid, I've been on this world since time and life began. I've seen orphans having to suffer citywide hatred and some of them breaking down, sometimes ending it. I want ended, not until have their heads. So, is that really your plan then, Naruto? Kill that which may be already dead. Then subject yourself to the same thing Isarabi protected you from. No, I don't know, but hell, you'd probably wouldn't let me to begin with. So, tell me something, what do you think I should do? I hint that you should at least stop being an ass towards everyone, posers they may be, but one of them at least has a similar background to you. Garfield. Exactly, his parents died probably around the time you lost Isarabi. So he's been around the block, but unlike you he did have friends to pull him out of it. So what are you saying? I create my own suffer. In a way yes, you refuse to let anyone in, but I agree with why. You are afraid of being hurt and that's natural. That's been a feeling ever since time began as well. The fear of rejection, something we've faced countless times. Yeah, if that is the only reason why I could hate Japan, it's that I got shipped off no sooner than I was caught. Hell man, I don't know anymore. I'm so scared of being alone that I refuse to let anyone in. Cause they'll hurt me. Because you feel you still aren't strong enough to save them if they need it. Yeah, but not just that. God damn it, why do you make me get sappy-eyed for, and why now all these years? Because it's a chance at a new beginning kid, a new start. Many don't get that chance. The sudden rustle of bushes made Naruto stop focus and he looked to see someone looking at him. It was a small girl, dirty, with torn clothing. She looked at him with fear and a mix of anxiety. Naruto's blue eyes met her hazel eyes. She was scared. See if even if I have my new start people still can't look inside the surface. He began to walk away, but a creeping feeling came over him. He stopped and turned back around. The boy looked at the girl, who was wearing a torn hoodie. Hey, I can see you know. Naruto called out, making the girl slightly jump. So sorry. She called, ready to run away. She must have been no younger than 6, not half his age. He smiled, shaking his head not believing what he was going to try and do. Are you hungry? He called. The girl stopped, her stomach was growling, begging for a good meal. She turned to him, before slowly emerging from the bushes, and he got a look at her withered form. He frowned. Come on, he called, sighing almost. The girl looked at him shaking, he turned back around. Not going to ask again, don't worry, I don't bite. Besides, human meat isn't my favorite. The girl shuddered a little bit at that, but slowly started to walk behind him. She soon caught up, walking besides him. Near the edge of Jump City Park, 30 minutes later. Naruto and the girl arrived towards edge of the park. He had no money of course, but he had a plan. Though if the other titans found out, he'd be in trouble for sure. Hey, wait here, I'll be right back. The girl nodded, her stomach growled. She watched as the boy scurried up a tree, using his claw nails to slowly and silently climb out of sight. She then saw a shadow jump from the tree to her side, to the tree in her front. She saw him motioning for her to stay low. She complied and waited. Naruto was sitting in a tree and watched as several people walked along the sidewalk. He was roping a wire to be a used lasso when the time came. He watched as a couple walking up the road. The man was a large heavy-set fellow. His wallet stuck out like a sore thumb, Naruto eyes focused on it. Kid, go for it, just give it back, saying that it opened up when it dropped on the ground. You got a nice win to back your story up for a missing $1 or so. Naruto nodded and waiting. As the couple passed his tree, he threw the lassoed wire onto the wallet, pulling hard and quick. He managed to get the wallet out of the man's pocket and smirked as they kept walking. The Redeed quickly pulled the wire towards him and opened the wallet. The man had about 720s on him, obviously well made in life. He pulled a 20 out, seeing as there was no other bill to grab. He then got out of the tree and as silently as possible he fell to the ground. That's when he put a small hat on and pulled his pants to cover his tail up. Sir. He shouted, making the man stop. He turned to see the young lad in front of him. Oh, hey there Sonny. What is it? He asked, he was kind for a stranger. Naruto handed him his wallet and smiled. You dropped this, I went to grab it and something fell out. The man grabbed the wallet and looked in it. He sighed, cursing under his breath. He looked towards Naruto and patted the boy's head. Luckily missing his ears. Thanks Sonny, yeah a 20 is missing, but it's no big deal. You look like you're hungry, if you should find it, go ahead and keep it. Naruto beamed a fake bright smile and bowed. The ruse was working very well. "Oh, thank you very much, sir, thank you, thank you." The Redeed cheered, though he was faking every bit of it. The said boy was walking back towards the girl. She looked at him, stunned at how he was able to pull that off. "Come on, let's get you something to eat," Naruto said, extending his hand out. The girl, dumbfounded, took it. He slowly walked her away from the scene of the crime and smiled. It actually felt a heartbeat for a moment there. They rounded the walk path and came upon a stand. The girl and boy walked up to it. The man was making a various amount of fast food products. "Hey there kiddos, what can I get ya?" he called out. Naruto looked at the girl, motioning for her to pick. She hesitated at first, but finally pointed towards a meal choice, which came with homemade fries the man had brought with him. He looked towards Naruto. "And, for you sonny?" he asked. Naruto just looked at the choices. Then he pointed towards the one thing he knew he would like, strawberries, or more specifically a milkshake. The man nodded and started ringing them up. He then saw Naruto make a 2 with his fingers. The man nodded once again and ringed them up another milkshake. "Okay, that will be 1561. Naruto handed him the ill-acquired 20 he had gotten. The man nodded and pointed towards some picnic tables. "It'll be done in about 20 minutes. He said as he turned on the fryers and grill for the burger. Naruto tugged at the girl's hoodie, which made her follow him. She looked at him and silently said thank you sir. The boy only smiled and helped her sit down. They sat there for a few minutes, neither one saying a word. Naruto finally broke the ice. "What's your name?" The girl looked at him, sighing. "My name is Marina Cortez," she said, pulling off her hood, revealing a brown-haired cute-looking face. Naruto smiled. "My name is Kitsune, I know it's weird but roll with it," Naruto said. The girl nodded. "Thank you Kitsune," she said before playing with her fingers. "Where is your family Marina?" Naruto Kitsune asked. The girl looked at him sighing sadly. She looked down. "I don't know, they didn't come home and my house burned down a few weeks ago." Naruto sighed. It was tragic. "Well, Marina, after we get down here, I'll see there is anything I can do," Naruto said, silently contemplating a plan. "Thanks, but why are you doing this?" Naruto looked at her, smiling, but it was hollow. "Because no one should be homeless, especially not kids," he stated before seeing the man was hard at work. The girl nodded, she looked so downcast. Naruto took of his hoodie and handed it to her. "You should really get something better." The girl looked at the gift and taking out of his hands. Naruto had a workout shirt on still, but it was sleeveless, exposing lean muscle, more so than a 13-year-old should have. However, he has been fighting since 7. So he had a good 6 years of heavy training and action. So his body wouldn't be natural to his age group, and add in the fact he was a half-demon. Well, you get the picture. The girl blushed slightly but paid no less attention to the hoodie he had gave her. It had a strange symbol on the back, it was spiral. Naruto watched as the man ringed them up. "Order up," he shouted. Naruto walked over, grabbing their meals. He came back and sat her shake down in front of her, along with her food. "Well, let's eat." But the other titans. Central Jump City, 1 hour later. "Dang it, they attack now seriously," Beast Boy yelled, having his only day off ruined. He was chasing a jeep which was running with gunmen in the back. Raven and Starfire were flying behind him. He transformed into a cheetah. "I have the hate of this free day," Starfire yelled out. Raven just nodded. The gunmen each held a M1911 pistol in the back and they started to fire. Raven saw Beast Boy trying to dodge, so she decided to help him out. "Azrath Metrian Zinthos," she shouted, encasing Beast Boy in a black magic shield. The bullets bounced off of it, allowing Beast Boy to charge through and lunge onto the back of the vehicle. He transformed into a gorilla and managed to knock one of the crooks out the vehicle out. Only to fall out when the driver swung to the left, Starfire barely missing her own teammate with a starbolt. "Darn it," Beast Boy shouted. The vehicle screeched as it started on a straightaway, bobbing and weaving through cars. The crooks all had smiles on their face. "Hell yeah motherfucker. We just robbed that goddamn place, fuck the other guy. That means we got more to our names and it's payday bitches." The driver shouted and flicked off the titans as they got away. Robin and Cyborg gave chase in the T-car and started catching up. Only to get stopped by traffic. "Damn it," Cyborg shouted. They saw the crooks round a corner. Starfire was attending to Beast Boy, seeing that he took a nasty fall. Raven was attempting to give chase as best as she could. So far everything was going fuber. That is when she saw a retarded boy walk on the crossing. "Get out of the way dumbass," she shouted. The crooks weren't slowing down. The retarded boy looked towards a girl who had been following him and pushed her out of the way. Just in time to jump over the car. That's when Raven saw him backflip, his tail coming out of his pants. It was Naruto. Was he here because of the commotion? She stopped and looked at the little girl, who had his spiral hoodie on. "Are you okay?" She nodded, though she had a bad cut on her arm. Raven chose to attend to the girl first while still looking to where Naruto had landed. He was gone. Inside the central part of Highway 69. Naruto Pav. At them kid, go, go. I'm already on it. I had to push that girl out of the way, she would have gotten hit by the crooks I was chasing after right now. I was dashing as fast as I could, dodging other cars as they turned into the highway, into oncoming traffic. I could hear through my advanced hearing. Yeah, I see that retarded bastard, dust his freak ass. Time to bring out the big guns. You got it baby, woohoo. I focused my eyesight more and saw them pull out a rather large gun. It had to be mounted on a tripod. My eyes widened at the realization at what it was a machine gun, a .50 caliber no less. If they shot it here. I quickly got out some wire, attaching it to one of kunai knives. I threw that damn thing as hard as I could, it barely made it into the vehicle, that's when I growled as I slammed my feet into the ground. My shoes were burning off as I did, and my feet started to burn as they tried to free themselves from the wire. Which I was strengthening with chakra, and I finally flowed chakra into my feet. Allowing me to cause the vehicle they were in to pop a wheelie. I watched as the traffic came to hold as the vehicle flipped over, I saw the 3 crooks getting out. Each of them getting another gun. Kill that bastard. The obvious leader shouted, I quickly ducked under a car. Crawling on all 4 legs, I may have knife proof, but bullets were another thing. I reached a red Toyota and I ducked underneath it. Observing as they split up, I watched as the man who was mounting the tripod from earlier came to the Toyota, looking for me. I slowly crawled towards him while staying under the truck. I readied my tail, which snaked to view. I struck when he came within just inches of my faces. I used my tail and dragged him under the truck where he struggled to get his gun on me. That's when I placed a needle into his spine, temporarily paralyzing him. I grabbed the gun, the pistol, and chambered around as I crawled out from under the car. I wasn't a good shot, but I needed something since I had no range weapons on me. The knife I had and the wire was the last I had of it. I made a clone and made him run out in the open. Without having the gun in his hand, and I watched as loud snap of the air sounded. Along with the clone's body popping into smoke, a large caliber bullet passing through its skull at the time. I couldn't sense the other posers. So I quickly ran behind cover and faced where the bullet had come from. I looked into the mirror of the car and saw that the 2 other crooks. 1 male and 1 female were looking around for me. One held a scar in his hand. Fuck my luck, hang on, he's moving away from her. Maybe to see if there is a body. I was wrong in my thought when he started shoot about on the car I was hiding under. I was pissed off being like this, helpless. So I formulated a plan. I brought my hand to my mouth and bit down hard. Blood seeped out and onto the ground. I wrote out several symbols in blood before pressing my palm on it. Kitsueki Kari. The puff of smoke formed 3 two-tailed foxes. Onichi wa futatabi masad and no nixatsu wa nenadesu ka. A black-haired fox asked. I looked up, seeing the man saw the smoke. Kuruma no mawari nai kaityaku jko matsu atoko gaari, kerga and ibai nai wa, osoiga keru. I whispered in demon song to the foxes, they all nodded and quickly went under the car. As they did, the man came around pointing the gun at me. I faked my distress so the foxes could get in prime position. Don't shoot please, don't. I said, faking tears in my eyes. He just walked towards me, holding the gun. He smirked before he chambered the round and then I could see the smile stretch under his mask. Nighty-night, hero. I then chuckled as 2 black tails wrapped around the gun, followed 2 pair sets of red tails wrapping on the man's arms and legs. I smiled, getting up but still staying low enough to avoid the sniper. I pointed the gun at his head, night-night. I said, he screamed, but instead of pulling the trigger, I flipped the gun around and smashed his skull with the handle. Knocking him out cold, I sent a chakra pulse out. I felt the life energy of the sniper fleeting. I dropped the gun and jumped onto the roof of a car and I saw her run. She was running fast, the smell of fear laced the air around her. Get her, I smirked, getting into a 4-point stance and jumped. Lunging and bounding over cars. She screamed as she saw me and when she turned to load a bullet into her gun. I strike. Lunging high into the air and as she fired her bullet, which horribly missed me. I came crashing down on top of her and wrapped my tail around her arms. I knocked the gun away. Stay still. I ordered her, squeezing her harder and harder. She spat in my face and it took everything I had not to just break her bones. I ordered once more, she tried biting my tail. Which didn't serve anything but to hurt her own teeth. Help me. Michael. James. Help. This demon is going to kill me. She called to her partners in crime, only to see my pack of foxes drag the 2 other crooks out. One was unconscious, while the other was struggling against the foxes. She looked at me with fearful eyes, frantically begging me to let her go, acting as if I was going to take a bite of her flesh. You oughta be lucky if you were in Japan, I'd broke your bones by now. The woman just screamed more. Begging, pleading. I suddenly heard the click of gun and saw as the police had finally arrived. About time you showed up. I said, forcing the woman up, still holding her with my tail. Only then did I notice the police pointing at me. Drop the crook dirtbag. We're not going to ask twice. I looked at them confused and I spoke up. I raised my hands up, it's okay humans, I'm with the Titans. These crooks almost ran over a little girl and I was just trying to help out. Drop her. He sounded over his loudspeaker and I saw them each take aim. I glared hard at each and every one of them. Yo dudes, stop, chillax. Beast Boy shouted as he landed in front of me and waved his hands about. The cops put their guns down, but in the end I still had my fist up. Subconsciously I had already grabbed a knife. Ready to have fought them. Ishan's West Tower, 7 PM Ops Room. This is serious guys, we're not in the best of light at the moment. If Beast Boy hadn't showed when he did, we'd had a dead teammate on our hands. Now, that's all good, but Naruto did pull a deadly weapon to the police. I wrote out a report and sent it to the league. I cannot tolerate any more of this, he should have just stayed calm. More focused. He also almost endangered a girl's life today. Robin stated before sitting down in his chair. Yo come on Robin, he managed to get the bad guys. Besides the girl was being escorted with him and from what Raven said if he hadn't pushed her down when he did. She'd been in the direct line of those maniacs. Beast Boy countered Robin, surprising the rest of the team. Especially Raven, who thought at the least he held a grudge at her fellow half-demon for treating her like crap. UBBE, why defend him, he's a no-good crook himself. As he once ever said thank you to us. You know, for keeping him out of jail. Cyborg argued back, Beast Boy just gave a frustrated sigh. He watched as Starfire started to speak up. Yes, but is our end goal not met? Did he not achieve what we set out to do? Starfire questioned Cyborg, which made everyone in the room look at her, as if she had grown a second head. Now she was slightly defending him. Starfire, are you defending Naruto? Raven asked, actually for once stunned at her teammate's statement. She watched as Starfire nodded, which made Robin grit his teeth subconsciously. Though she looked at them. Am I not giving the credit where it's his due? Cyborg sighed, but then conceded. Yeah, she's got me there. In the end he did nab the criminals. I mean, he did something alone, not all 5 of us could do. Which means we're not on his level, the Bionic Man stated while analyzing the situation. No, we're beyond his level guys. We just have a set of codes and sure mistakes were made. Though what he did would have gotten himself easily killed. If Beast Boy hadn't got there when he did, then he'd been shot all over. Plus one of the crooks is now fighting a skull fracture, unable to stand trail. Robin explained further into his argument. Not to mention that he seems to have violent mood swings, Raven commented. They turned to hear footsteps and saw a lock of reddish blonde hair walk into the room. The hair dye Naruto had been using was now going away. Robin looked at him, he had his eyes closed. Naruto, glad you have joined us finally. The boy opened his eyes, revealing them to be red in color. He glared hard at Robin before flicking him off. Then he spoke up. Who's been in my room, why can't I find my knife? He simply asked, Robin was the one to stand up. The answer he would give may or may not send Naruto into a fury. He simply brought it out and brought down onto the table. I have to turn it in with other pieces of evidence on the scene Naruto, besides it's a 3-pointed blade, illegal via Geneva Convention. The next thing Robin knew was him being pushed across the room inside of his chair by a fist. He coughed as he noticed the blade was gone. Naruto was standing on the monitor. You ever go into my room, well I'm not there again. I'll gut you, I'm not fucking with your shit Robin. You don't know what I am capable of. The team all stood up, Cyborg had his sonic cannon pointed at Naruto. Raven had her magic ready and Starfire's eyes lit a green hue. Beast Boy was the only to remain seated, understanding where Naruto was coming from. He had a journal he kept and if anyone ever touched it they'd be dead meat as well. You all better not miss, Naruto simply stated, beginning to hold the knife in a reverse grip. He looked around, ready to strike at the first attacker. The team hesitated before putting down their powers weapons. Naruto watched this and did the same. Sheathing the knife back into a holster, which had the symbol of fish on the bindings. Uzumaki Naruto, I have had it. Get out. Robin shouted, pointing at the door. Naruto simply flicked him off and I'll be heading back to my room to train. The semi-blonde haired Naruto began to walk, only to be stopped by Beast Boy. Who put his hand on his shoulder, dude hold up a second. Naruto scoffed at him and pushed his arm off. I'm done with you posers, besides you ever grab this knife again, boy blunder. I will be happy to show what a kunai can do. With that the half-demon walked out. Robin looked at Beast Boy with anger, Beast Boy, why did you try to stop him? He demanded an answer, but that's when Beast Boy snapped on his teammate and started to yell at him. You had no right to go in his room, you all ask me about my past, but never once do you try to sneak into my room. I hate to say it, guys, but right, Naruto isn't the bad guy in this. He managed to stop the crooks, and because of the way he looked he was going to be arrested. I can't stand you anymore, guys, I mean, come on. Beast Boy yelled, making everyone in the room silent. Beast Boy Robin started but was stopped by Raven. Wanting to hear this. You don't get it, do you? He's all alone, man, he's it. He had a mother, but she's gone, he had to watch her get murdered with something else involved that I don't want to say in front of the girls here. But, I am sure what Raven knows what I mean. The leered adorned girl's eyes widen. Knowing what he was saying. So, my parents died to Beast Boy, but that does not mean I have a right to be an ass. Robin countered, and he crossed his arms. Besides, he doesn't have a right to throw it around as an excuse. Beast Boy growled only more. He didn't. Damn it, dude, I walked in on him crying about it. He's could have been 5 years old, man. 5. With that, Beast Boy ran out of the ops room. All this talk reminding him of his own parents' deaths. Raven looked out around and sighed. Sorry guys, I need to get going as well. She said, getting up. She could feel the pulses of mixed feelings. Especially from her Amada clones, who were having mixed feelings on the kitsune. Robin just looked at his team, dumbfounded. Had he been too rash? Starfire looked downcast as she walked out of the ops room, ashamed that she didn't know the full story. She had cast a slight one-sided judgment on Naruto. Who had just ran out of the dining room. Cyborg was next, he looked at Robin. Dude, we need to get his profile from Japan, see if they got history and what he says is true. Robin nodded and went to make a call. Cyborg turned around and looked at the monitor. Nothing was on tonight, not even the HIV have been active lately. Outside the Titan Tower. 1 hour later. Naruto Pav. I held the knife close to me, it was the thing I had. Unlike the other kunai, it had a special meaning to me. It was her knife, and that bird asshole had no right to touch it. I hope I do get thrown into the jail cell now. This is hell, compared to what I had been living with. I was free, I was slightly recovering from what had happened. I had no one forcing me, threatening me. I slowly rubbed the knife with my index finger, lightly cutting into it. I looked at myself in the water, but all I could see was the 4-year-old me. His hair was in a ponytail, and right behind him was Isarabi. Making bunny ears, it was a photo I remembered, it burned with the house. I let out a small tear before looking at the Pacific Ocean. My sighs carried with the wind and I slowly dug deeper into my finger with the knife. Trying to feel at least something else other than sadness, I hardly ever cut myself. Small trickles of blood flowed from my finger and I could feel small bits of pain shoot up my arm. Making me grunt and forget about the tears flowing out of my eyes. I drifted into one lone memory, her last words to me. Naruto, you have to run please before they come back. No haha, I'm not going to leave you, you're my haha. Naruto Uzumaki Urashi. You will do as I say please my baby boy, run. But, haha, I can't leave you like this. I know honey, I know, but you can't die here, not like me, you have to live. No haha, please don't. Oh my baby boy, please run away before they come back. Oh okay. I grabbed a rock and smashed the image in the water. So weak. I shouted and grabbed another stone. I threw it as hard as I could. So fucking stupid. I blamed myself and picked up another stone. Bearing my feelings inside an ocean of pity, I threw the stone. I silently laid back in the grass, looking up at the giant moon in front of me. In a way, I wish I was there, on the moon. Silence, nothing, a chance to rebuild myself from the core up. Though, it's impossible, I trailed my thoughts to the girl. She managed to get to a hospital, where her parents found her. She told them what I did for her, but I haven't heard anything since. I sigh and get up. I needed to take a walk. So slowly I walked towards the ocean and stepping onto the water. A little satisfying for me to master a technique long thought dead, water walking. I can form my chakra as steps inside the water. I loved it, though Kurama says it's not like the old technique that a former student of his had. It works though. Besides, I had a letter today and it was full of cash from someone. So, might as well enjoy it. I don't know who would give me money though, since everyone else besides Beast Boy treated me like a pest. I have to admit it though, he had balls standing up to the police. I continued my walk into the ocean, trying to make it the beach in front of me. Jump City Mall, 10 PM Naruto's location. Normal Pav. Naruto walked into a paint store, looking at the various selections of spray paint. The store's name was actually kind of funny, being called Spray and Play, a play on Spray and Pray. Which Naruto knew from a movie as a meaning of firing a gun rapidly in hopes at least hitting a target. The semi-blonde teen got a bag and started to grab some of the cans. He got a red can, black can, green can, blue can, and white can. He looked for yellow, but had to settle for orange. The young anti-hero walked up to the counter and placed the merchandise down. "That'll be 1670 brah." The said with a surfer attitude, he watched as Naruto got into his pocket and brought out the cash. He took it and gave the multicolored haired boy his change back. The next stop would be to get some hair dye. Then probably get some new clothes since his current attire. A old sweatshirt and sweatpants, each the color of black, was starting to tear. He yawned as he walked past several of the stores, his tail tucked into his pants, with his ears being covered by the sweatshirt's custom put-in hood. He smelled the fragrances nearby and decided to check them out. So for a few minutes and a few smells later, the boy got something pleasurable to smell in the dank basement. Having now started to smell from the dried blood and sweat, he even stopped in and got a couple hair dyes, which was red and black. He smirked, maybe he'd go black hair this time. Maybe dye his tail as well. Though Kurama was objecting to the notion. A foxkin's tail color is a status symbol. Naruto, red being upper echelon. The semi-blonde chuckled, if that was the case, where was the money that came with it? Better yet, where was his own mother and father? The fox spirit sighed within him and watched as the blonde-red hybrid walked into the clothing store. Only for all hell to break loose. Grab the designers. Jinx, get the designers, Mammoth get the cash. He heard a small childlike voice say, and the unusual names only meant one thing. These guys weren't common rabble villains, or maybe they were stupid ones. Naruto sighed before going into the changing room. Along with picking up a hoodie to put on over top of himself. He was not in the mood to get involved. He put on the hoodie, only to have the door to the changing room ripped open. He looked at the crook that did so and chuckled. A small kid with a pack with mechanical arms. "Give us your money." The kid demanded, seeing the cash that Naruto had left. The half-demon just smirked before cocking back his fist. "Go fuck yourself, twerp." The boy yelled as the half-demon's fist collided with his face, sending across the clothing store and out the glass. Naruto quickly removed himself from the stall as it was crashed into by a large red-headed man with a yellow and black costume. "You there, did you hurt Gizmo?" The large man yelled. Naruto looked at the kid who was getting up, a mechanical arm forming a laser at the end. The semi-blonde just groaned, he was already having a bad day. The boy back-flipped out of the way as a laser hit his location, only for a puddle of water to form under the tile floor. Making him slip, he could swear he felt energy on that location. Then saw something akin to feline pass over him and kick him the back, sending him sliding across the ground. He looked to see a boy dressed up like B and his eye twitched. "You have to be fucking kidding me," he groaned before the boy used his shield to knock Naruto across the ground. The half-demon watched as the 14s plus a new arrival joined together. "Good job guys." The girl with pink hair said, the one that looked like a feline. He got up and shook his head. The half-demon then smirked. "So you're super villains?" he asked before smirking. He was definitely getting ready to have some fun. Maybe stress relief. The girl, who was leading the group, saw him get up. Just motioned for the large guy, Mammoth, to charge at Naruto. The eyes of the half-demon widened at the speed of the man. "Fuck." Naruto shouted as he was knocked into the roof, but smirked as he used his chakra to hold himself there. He reached into his pouch, only to feel it empty. "God damn it. Hit, I think 1-on-5 is not our day. They have powers, I'm worried about the girl. She actually caused that puddle earlier. Wait, is that ceiling cracking? What? Oh, that's great." Naruto looked at what the Kyuubi was talking about and saw pink energy on the crack. "You're an asshole," Naruto spoke aloud before the area of the ceiling collapsed onto him. Though his demonic body could handle the crash with ease. The blonde red-haired child got up, shaking his head. He saw the large man charge at him again, this time he was ready. He grabbed the man's fist as he went to him. The fist easily 3 times big as his own. "Gotcha, bitch." The half-demon shouted. Only to get hit by a concussive grenade that was launched by the smaller kid, which was wearing all black from what Naruto could see. The new arrival pointed his lone eye visor at Naruto, and he smirked. "Kid's got a tail, Mammoth, grab it." The half-demon eyes widened as he felt the man grab his tail through his pants. The boy screamed out in pain as he felt the pull, but corrected himself to punch the giant man in the face. He landed on his feet, only to hear the bustling of a pipe under his feet. He looked at the girl who was smiling. "Oh, fuck ah." He started, only for a jet of water to blast him into the roof again. This time, unable to grab the ceiling. He slammed back down onto the ground before he rolled over. The 5 teens there walked to encircle him. "Oh" was all he could make out before the girl gave him a snide look. "You just got hexed," she said, kissing her finger and putting it on Naruto's temple. The scratch he had on his head began to sting heavily. "I hate this place so goddamn much," Naruto stated before he looked on as they began to walk out. They had the money in their hands, along with the designer clothing. He let out a painful groan before he finally succumbed and passed out. Unknown location and an unknown time. Unknown POV. Blood lights, blood sight. Red, the color of rage, but tonight it is black. The color of death. I looked at this mirror images of myself, constantly wondering where I was in this cycle. My pale red eyes, my pale white tails, my foregoing of my soul. Trepidation, cowardice, kept me from being able to save them all. The blood has come, oh, his cowardice is shared with my own. In this dark forest of doubt we call our home. My eyes, so pale in the bloody moonlit night. Is night. The giant fox that sleeps inside he who bears my face and my soul. I looked upon as a birth child, bathed in blood. Bathed in the blood of the father and mother, he may never know. The emotional disturbed child is lost in this forest. The girl, the pink-haired hex witch. Her mark is making him sleep so, not a deathly sleep, not a painful sleep. But, a year walk into his life. He is lost, not in my forest of rage, but in his forest of doubt. I sit on my throne, waiting for him. The chains have been set in motion. Since day one, and to the human's death. Set upon motion. The spinning wheel of life, and I shall find him. I shall find him pleasurable to mourn, and pleasurable to scorn. The utter cackling of a fool, for which I am acting so. After all, we are he who bears two souls. With Naruto, the unknown place, unknown time. Normal POV. He woke up as soon the stinging went away. Opening his eyes to this world of darkened dreams, the trees were black. The moon was red, with something akin to red water flowing upon the ground. The younger blonde than what he would look like right now. Stood up. Where am I? Naruto asked himself. He looked about. Looking for what he could not see in front of him. A dark forest indeed. The blonde moved about, coming to a blood-red water pool. Where he came to be startled. Ah! I look younger. He shouted, and indeed his 4-year-old self was reflecting back. He looked about, noticing that he didn't have his tail, his claws, and even had human ears. That's when his mind began to race. Am I dead? He asked himself, and if he was then this was hell. Blaring silence, nothing alive moving. His features that he grown to love gone. Slowly he began to walk. Hello? He called out. Now taking notice of how small his voice sounded to what it was as a teen. He came upon a small house, by an endless lake. The child looked into it and decided to open it. There he was met by a warmth, similar to a fire. The thing that haunted him though, was a picture. There on the nightstand, by a small 2-story bunk bed was a single picture. Hey Naruto, a familiar voice said to him, making him snap around. He looked at the tall woman, she was fair-skinned. Chocolate brown eyes, chocolate brown hair. The young Naruto had tears starting to spill over his eyes. Isarabi, haha. Is that you? He said. She smiled, and he noticed that outside the door. The forest was gone, and outside that door was the district he lived for a year in. A year with her, making his life so much better. Haha, but you, Naruto stammered, trying to come up with an answer to this strange event. Tears spilled from his eyes as he looked at her. She was so beautiful, adorned in her usual white kimono. She walked over to him and hugged him. You must have had a very bad dream, my son, please sit down. I'll make us some fried fish. Naruto's favorite dish, her smell, her looks. Was it all a dream? The Titans. The 5 villains. The JDF. Growing up alone for another 7 years. He looked into her eyes before he finally smiled. Yeah, I must have had a bad dream. Naruto simply stated and sat on the lower bed. He watched as she got out the frying pan and started to make the dinner she promised. The smell was intoxicating to him, not only hers, but the fish. Something she always cooked on a Sunday night. I missed you today, how was school? She asked him. The blonde smiled. Recalling his last day's school events. It was good, Sasuke was still being a jerk, but when isn't he being a jerk? Since he thinks he's so good at everything else. Naruto grumbled as he crossed his arms. The woman smiled. She looked at him and soon the fish started to fry. Her eyes moved along him before she smiled. Son, today marks the first year you've been with me, I am so glad that I met you. Naruto smiled and she sat down by him. They turned on the TV. In front of them and began to watch a cartoon. A samurai cartoon about someone named Jack. Naruto's favorite, if this was an illusion. Whoever did this was doing a damn good job making him believe it. She just got up when the door was busted open and 5 drunk men stood outside the door. Naruto screamed, child fear running through him. Naruto, run. She shouted, only for the clapping of a gunshot to be heard, though the bullet wasn't fatal. Not to her anyway, since it hit Naruto in the leg. Making him fall to the ground and crawl. Oh miss, you owe us a money, the lead man sang out, wearing a ski mask. He had golden eyes, very dissimilar to the rest of the men. The woman looked at them before shouting. Get out. The men just walked into the small house. They had lead pipes, a baseball bat, and one even had a katana. The woman scurried to get to Naruto, who had pushed himself against the wall out of fear. Though the men, besides the leader, grabbed her by the legs. Pulling her away, she screamed as man came around to him. Pulling him away from the wall, the young blonde tried to shut his eyes. Only to have them forced open. "Hey kid, this is what happens when you don't pay your debts, especially to our boss SHH. Watch." The boy cringed as he saw her get beaten with the lead pipes. He could hear her arm being broken, the sound of a pipe breaking her hand tried to make him run towards her. He was held so tight though, he couldn't. He watched as her clothing was ripped off, he screamed for her. "Ha ha," he screamed out in his native tongue. Trying to call out to her. Only to see one of the men strip his pants off. Someone hit Naruto upside the head and he realized it was third man of the group of 5. One of them was keeping watch outside from what he could tell. 2 of them were on top of Asabi, one holding her head. The other laying on top of her. She gave a horrible scream as the man did something to her. Several minutes passed and Asabi just screamed through them all. The man grunted before he got off of her. Blood seeped down onto the floor. Naruto was shedding so many tears now, he was watching something he knew she shouldn't. "Let her go." He screamed, only to have no responsive action to his order. He felt something crash against his head, making him pass out. The last thing he was hearing was Isarabi's screams. But, now calling out him. "Naruto, Naruto, no. Naruto." Titan's Tower Medbay, 3 days later after the mall incident, 12:20 am. Naruto screamed as he woke up, "Isarabi." The semi-blonde teen looked around. The room he was in was a blaring white and he was laying in a bed. He looked around before smashing his hand into the table upon the feeling of his tail. "Goddamn fucking damn it," he shouted, getting up. Only to hear the beep of a monitor. He looked to see that his heart rate was around 180 beats a minute. The boy glared at the machine, but this laid back down. He looked about and just sighed. It was all just a nightmare, just a dream. Slowly he relaxed. The young lad noticed that his claws were out, indicating that at one point his demonic chakra had been flooded through his system. Probably what woke him up and then heard the familiar deep voice of the Kyuubi no Kitsune Kurama. "Hello kid, are you doing better? We've been out for 3 days." His eyes just trailed to the bandages around his arm. "What happened?" "Well, we got our asses handed to us. That's pretty much the reason why we are here, plus the slight infected wound on our head what you know. Our immune system slightly failed on that one." "Oh joy, so, pretty much I'm stuck here for now." "Not really, you can get up. Though if you pull out the wires, you may set off the monitor." "Can you flow chakra into my hand? I wonder if I can short it out." Naruto felt a massive jolt of chakra pass through him, which made his arm glow red for a moment. The machine by him sizzled slightly before shutting down. He took this time to pull out the wire, slowly, so he wouldn't rip open an artery. The teen went to stand up, only to stumble and hit his head on the wall. "Oh," he groaned before getting up. Correcting himself along the way as well. The boy stumbled a little bit more and formed clones to help him up. That's when a thought hit him, and with it a memory. "I should have formed fucking clones, am I goddamn idiotic enough to forget my core fucking skill?" He faced the wall and lightly tapped the wall with his head. "Stupid, stupid, fucking stupid." The semi-blonde stopped and looked around. Noticing this place looked like a medical facility and noticed that he still have some cuts that needed healing. "Your adrenal gland stopped producing when you were giving a sedative, you wouldn't hold still for a needle. I need you to get an adrenaline shot to heal your glands." Stupid human doctors. The clones of Naruto went looking around. Leaving to hold him up, he watched as they came back. "Okay boss, hold still." The teen death gripped the clone holding him up and felt the needle penetrate his skin. Before feeling heart accelerate massively. "Oh mama that feels good." Naruto muttered subconsciously but felt the cuts burn as they healed. Even the bone resetting his arm from where it possibly was broken. He felt his legs being stronger so he could now stand on his own 2 feet. The clones looked at him and nodded. They dispersed with a puff of smoke and this left Naruto alone in the room. The teen slowly walked towards the door and opened it, intent on returning to his room. The next morning, Titan's West Tower, Ops Room. 6:47 am. Robin, Beast Boy, Raven and Starfire were sitting at the chairs. Overlooking the monitor, Robin looked at them. "Good work yesterday team, we've managed to drive back a group of villains for the first time." The team nodded, but then Robin frowned. "Unfortunately, they got away. Which is no thanks to our newest member, who somehow was there first and got knocked out." The boy wonder commented, the team nodded, except Beast Boy. Who was ignoring once again a one-sided comment about Naruto. All from the boy blunder. That's when Cyborg came rushing in, he was madder than hell as well. Someone, not naming who, fried their heart monitor. The metallic man shouted before looking around to see if he was there. That monitor was an experimental monitor invented by Cyborg to monitor possible future changes in someone's breathing and heartbeats. The only prototype which he decided to test on Naruto since the half-demon was knocked out. Wait, then, where is Naruto? Beast Boy suddenly questioned, now concerned for his friend. Though the latter possibly couldn't be said the same, but damn it he respected him. Cyborg heaved a frustrated breath and looked at the green boy. Listen Green Bean, I don't know, but I know that he's been into the medical cabinet as well. I'm missing a small dosage of adrenaline. Is it possible that he has a drug problem? Robin asked, but never really hearing about people being addicted to pure adrenaline. Though, the half-demon in his mind would be the first case if he could just confirm it. Raven shrugged but felt something from the basement. Almost like a burst of energy, guys, something happened in the basement. She called out, Starfire could feel it as well. Titans go. Titans Tower basement, Naruto's POV. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't bear the thought of dreaming that same dream again. The adrenaline gave me enough of boost to start back my training, weakly at first. I hated the fact on how I lost, if I could just have separated them. I'd won. It just meant in a straight-up fight, I couldn't battle. I needed to be cloaked in darkness, unknown to their eyes and senses. Like I is right now, trying to train with my clones. I managed to catch one off guard. Slitting its throat with my knife. I wanted to see if I could do this the next time. I got caught by the two others in the room though, they each threw a knife with a tag of some sort wrapped around it. No doubt attempts by Kurama to make me aware on some new things he'd let me have knowledge to train with. I felt the knives glide past my skin and barely rolled out of the way. Before they burst into a light, a very bright energetic light. Light bomb kunai, a secret technique that I implanted in your clones to give you the edge, it's a seal array on the knives that make it work. It's very good, like a human equal to their flash bangs. Except they emit more light and dull the sense of sight right. HMPH, take away the fun in it. I took out some powder before throwing it into the air. Clouded haze. I called out, making the dust become thicker. The two clones, powered by the chakra of my fox, went into the dust fog. I took out two training knives and charged into the cloud myself. Channeling chakra into my senses. I managed to catch one, stabbing him through with both kunai. I watched as he and I slammed into the wall. Where I brought one knife out and stabbed it into his throat. You can kill your clones Naruto, but in this city you can't kill the bad guys just like Japan all over again. It isn't my home anymore, you know this. Is anywhere your home? No. I felt the clone behind me charge, he held in his hand a large knife. A tanto, which I had acquired after leaving Japan, I barely managed to block it, but as I went to counter, I noticed its eyes. They were red, and he cracked a smile. I think you need a lesson in knife play, don't worry I'm not going to harm you. The Kyuubi said in my head while the clone's lips moved. My semi-blonde ass barely dodged a slash at my head, but only to feel as my feet hit air. The clone swept me. Without me noticing no less, and it didn't stop there. He made sure that the real I knew the vulnerable position my person was in. The tanto crashed into the floor just right beside my neck. The eyes I had widened slightly, shocked at being taken down so fast. Sorga kim no tame nij bendesu, watashi wa nadayori heiaku shitai. Koko nai hinto ga amamadiru. The clone lip sensed the voice inside my head. Since when could you do that? Ever since you unlocked my power and used clones I just don't see the need. I could have used that last night. Yes, but the thing was, you forgot to make a clone. Besides my form is very limited in power inside that mortal coil. If I could be summoned, then I'd be able to do so real damage. Then teach me. You must get strong enough to visit Yamana, my domain Naruto. It's still far beyond your reach. Okay, why can't I summon you then? Like I do the other fox spirits. Because my summoning will drain you dry at the moment, you are not like my last student, you have no formal training of my ways. Nor, do you have formal training inside chakra combat. I'm improvising as we move along, at least trying to copy some of the things my former student did for himself. Who was your former student? Why isn't he around anymore? He's been dead boy, gone from this plane for eons now. Hundreds of eons. Damn. Yes damn indeed. We've got guests dispelling the clone. I looked to my side as I got up, the clone dispelled no sooner than he let me get up. I turned around to see the rest of the titans. They looked at me with shock, dude is that how you train? Beast Boy asked me. Yes wanna try it. Cause trust me, you'd get cut. I mocked before walking over. I was shirtless, which I could tell was making at least one of the females look at me, the one with red hair. That's when they took notice of something else other than my body. In fact, the other half-demon was the first one to say something to me. Where did you get that scar, the one on your back? I looked to see what she was talking about before shaking my head. I turned to them as I put on a red shirt. Don't ask me about my past in fact Beast Boy, no offense. Let's forget my outburst that day ever happened. Dude, seriously, you can't really think I'd let it go. I would, trust me, in the end, it just doesn't mean anything, you can't change time. Cyborg looked at him before glaring. What hell, man, he's just trying to be nice. We've all tried being nice to you, in fact, we just thought you'd have trouble settling in. But this is just ridiculous. Hell, I wear a frigging scar all time, this not just armor, man. It's a part of me. Naruto glared at him, no shit, Tin Man, geez, here I thought I made that clear. Besides, just because I have one measly little scar doesn't prove grounds for you to question me about my past. Naruto shot back, but in silent tone. Then why act like this, angry, full of hatred towards us? You call us posers, and though I don't know what that means, why insult us? Starfire inquired, though Naruto had to admit he wasn't mad with this one. She was an alien, not knowing what he was saying. Since maybe she knew basic jargon and slang. But poser may not be in her vocab. Because, in Japan, I used to look up to heroes like you. Everyone looked at him, shocked at what he said. You used to look up to heroes, like us, like Batman, Superman. Doom Patrol. Naruto nodded, deciding to at least have this out of the bag. He then glared hard at them, before he smirked. That's when Robin decided to try and use that as leverage. Then why do you hate us now, surely something must have changed it. Naruto nodded, but this time laughing. He was laughing towards the boy wonder, and then he flared his anger hard at Raven. To where she could only feel this emotional pattern radiating off him. Because Robin, I had someone very close to me die and not a damn hero once stood in to solve the mystery. Not even your precious Batman or the god among men Superman. I will always never forget what I seen, what I felt. He then took a few steps to where he and Robin were face to face. When the day comes, I'll wash away the past in blood just like my innocence as a child. Titans West Tower, basement. 7 a.m. So what, dude, you were saying that you'd level yourself down to those who hurt you? Beast Boy suddenly yelled at Naruto's proclamation of revenge. The said semi-blonde teen crossed his arms and scoffed at the boy. He then spoke with a growl, no, I'm making sure they know what it feels like. Robin got out his staff and the others got ready. Just in case Naruto was rearing for a fight, all except Beast Boy. Who stood his ground, unafraid. You're just broken, man, you can't fix yourself by yourself. You need help. Naruto's eyes closed before he snapped them open. Revealing a red iris, he just chuckled. I was better alone, happier, I was forced out of my own country. I wonder if you'd be laughing if I forced you out of the US. Beast Boy shook his head before speaking. The next sentence would shock the team to the core, I'm not from here, dude, I was born in South Africa. Naruto's eyes lightly widened, but he maintained his glare. The green boy just looked down before sighing. I was born normal, not like this. So I had to adjust to change. You see, Naruto, I understand in a way, I bet if you'd just say what happened to you, we all could help. Yo, everyone stopped as a sniffle filled the air before a large growl. Naruto clenched his fist so hard that it slowly began to bleed. Help me? Help me? You think I want your help? I just need help finding the bastards that killed my mother. So when I find them, I'll string their bodies high into the air over Tokyo Bay and their heads on stakes in front of the JTF. You want to help me, then take me back to Japan, help them. Robin's mask hid it, but his eyes slightly widened from the explanation. He then sighed before putting his staff away. So that's what you've been hiding, you are angry at the world for taking away your family. Naruto nodded, but his tears dried up. He slowly felt his wounds close and he glared hard at him. I won't argue with Beast Boy anymore, so this is your only chance, ask one question and I'll answer truthfully. Naruto ordered, but he knew that this was going to take every little fiber of his being to keep from lashing out. Starfire was the first to step up. Did you see them kill your mother or did stumble onto her? Naruto, downcast, finally sighed out loud and looked at the girl in front of him. Finally, after he took a moment to keep his breathing down, he spoke. I was forced to watch as 5 men, 1 outside standing guard. 2 raped her and 2 held me down to watch. When they were done and I was knocked, they beat her, she died of her wounds after telling me to run away. I came back to watch her be put into a body bag. Next. Everyone stood there, their jaw slacked slightly. No one stood to ask another question, but Naruto knew that eventually one was going to come about. Instead, the air was filled with sniffling, it was coming from Starfire. Who was fighting back from death, gripping Naruto in a hug. Finally it was Raven who stood to question him. Why do you despise me so much? She asked sincerely, though she was shocked about his past. She long knew, by the near week he lived here, something was infecting his soul's emotions. She just didn't know if it was this or just being a brat. She wasn't particularly happy being wrong in this case either. He pointed at her head and strangely her buttocks. Which slightly made her blush and Beast Boy ready to defend her again. Though he was glad that Naruto was making headway. You are a half-demon who has had a better life than most, and you choose to say you had it rough. You look so much more human than me, and because of that you could have a place to take you in me being a kitsune however. The Japanese lore states, in all essence, you are a thief. Naruto looked towards Robin and conceded in that one. His race, well his heritage demonology-wise was spot on. He was a thief, but it was only to keep him from being totally miserable. The team looked at him before Naruto looked at them. His now azure eyes hidden behind his multicolored hair. Why do you feel as if it was any hero's fault for what happened? Naruto had to admit this one was a very complicated question. Because, if any one of them had been investigating, they may have found that these men were part of a crime family or something, stopping them from doing what they did, but since many of Japan's heroes were either on JDF peril or Yakuza peril, I guess if it was interest of business they'd stay out of it. Naruto explained, but only felt his rage build up more from that statement. So, they took money over innocence? Starfire asked, but Naruto slightly glared. She bit her tongue and realized he truly meant one question. Though Robin could draw a parallel with Naruto now, since they both shared a similar event. Except Naruto's in nature was more brutal. The boy looked around before sighing. I promised myself to never let anyone in again, not after Isarabi. He looked down, only to feel a hand on his shoulder. It came from Beast Boy before he felt another on his right shoulder. This one came from Robin, who had a smile on his face. But, you can't always take on the world alone, even if my ass of teacher Batman seems to think he can. Naruto chuckled slightly before shrugging them off. Do you want to help me then, help me bring their justice down? Naruto asked before crossing his arms. Now was the tough part, seeing if anyone would agree with him. Naruto, we can't kill them, but we will try to bring them in. If the law decides that they are to die, then we'll leave it at that, but as far as taking someone's life we can't do it. Naruto nodded before he slowly backed away from everyone. Naruto, does this mean you are friend? Starfire asked, but the blonde shook his head. Which made most of the team downcast, but they saw him smile. Though it was slightly hollow to what it could have been given the situation. No, but it's a damn good start to respect, which in my meaning, we don't need to be friends, but thanks, it felt good getting it out. The Titans looked at each other before they noticed Cyborg, who was monitoring a screen on his arm, and sighed. Then he looked at Naruto before giving a sad smile. But, it's no problem. Training room, 8:30 AM. Beast Boy Pav. The team returned to the upper floors. We all had a mixed feeling about Naruto now. On one end it was guilt that we stood there, mostly the others, on him just being a brat. Though on the other end, is it safe to keep him here? He's like a ticking time bomb, like I was when I forced out of DP. I mean, now that I think about it, he's just like me. A person who's not really normal in any sense of the word and was cast into this world. But, I at least had people to fall back. The village on the Ivory Coast, the one my parents went to. They took me in after their deaths, then on my ceremony on becoming a man, I found that I was told to take a journey to discover who Garfield Logan was. So, in essence, my journey took me to Germany. A totally different place to what I was used to. Swahili didn't exactly help me there, and I found not many people were keen on renting out apartments to freaks like me. Then I met Mento and his Doom Patrol, everything was great. They taught me basic English, they taught me to speak fluently in German, with a side of Russian. So as for being stupid, nope, not stupid. Then came a mission where I failed to make a right choice. Where I could have stopped Doom Patrol's main enemy, or saved them. I chose to save them. Next thing I knew was that I had a one-way ticket to Jump City. Telling me that they were sorry, but I had become too emotionally attached. Funny thing was, I actually didn't cry the first few weeks. Thinking it was some training. Only after a month did I realize what it truly meant. Beast Boy, to the mat. Robin called for me, he was wearing his uniform for hand-to-hand training. Which was with his 5th Dan black belt. Meaning he was literally an expert into this field, me well. I ain't gonna lie, I am not all that great at hand-to-hand. I mean, with my powers my advantage is a mix of hand-to-hand with them. Not saying that I'm not decent, but compared to Robin. I'm just a novice, even if I can kick ass. Ready? He asks me, getting into a claw-like stance. I nodded, bringing my body back some, but putting my fists up. Let's do this. I say confidently, and we waited. Until we started to sweat, and then I looked over to Starfire, who had a childlike chuckle, one that if someone made a mistake they'd give. Oh, the bad is mine, begin. I rolled my eyes, no sooner than I turned my head. My face nearly caught a case of birdfoot fever. So I managed to dodge by flipping backwards and landing on all fours. I got back up and soon we found each other circling. Like wolves in a fight, and we lunged at each other. I made a rookie mistake of trying to drag and kick him, but he grabbed my leg. Sending me into the ground and held his palm to my throat, indicating my loss. He got off of me and held out his hand, which I took. Okay Beast Boy, that 20 seconds, not bad. Considering last time was just a mere 5 remember. I chuckled lightly, rubbing the part of my face he had hit to knock me out last time. I was distracted and it certainly wasn't because Raven was stretching at that time. I bowed to Robin, who bowed in respect of my effort. Going over to the corner, I felt a cold chill run up my spine and looked to see my arm was accidentally touching Sai's. Hey Green Bean, how was your little spar? Asked my closest thing to a best friend in the tower. Not too bad, didn't get knocked out like last time. So, have you been running scans across the tower? I asked, not bothering to do it myself. Since last time, well, let's just say a little virus got into the mainframe. That said virus got into Cyborg, who looked like he was enjoying said virus. It was a porn virus, don't ask how, cause I ain't telling. I heard Robin yell, Starfire to the mat, you too Cyborg. The metal man by me rolled his only human eye and he smirked. I guess I'm lucky I upgraded my armor when I did this morning, I might need it. He commented and I smirked. Watching him walk away. Yeah you are going to need it. I thought and watched as he got ready. On the mat, Cyborg vs Starfire. Normal POV. The large metal man got into a basic fighting stance, his scanner looked at Starfire, scanning her body. Making sure he could perfectly counter the pressure with his reactive armor suite. Begin. Robin shouted and Starfire set upon her friend. She wore a robe similar to her friend Robin, except she had a brown belt as well, but was more proficient in hand-to-hand due to her Tamaranian blood. The redeeded princess charged at her friend, using her leg to block a strike that was launched from Cyborg. Hum on Star, jet him. Beast Boy cheered, making the metallic teen look at his friend. He had a blank face that almost said the hell man. When he had a palm strike him. Making him stumble, he managed to block a round kick. His pressure-adapting armor adjusted to the change in pressure applied by the alien princess's foot. His display came up in his right eye, telling him his armor was holding up to about 60% capacity of pressure. Nice kick Star Girl, but let's if you can take this. Cyborg shouted, trying to use his right leg to sweep her, but it failed when she moved a little faster. Countering and hooking her foot under his extended. He tripped as she pulled back, making him fall to the ground. Her palm on his throat was the only clear indicator of defeat and he took it like a man. He stood up, dusting himself off, and smiled. Darn it, lost again, oh well got excuses to go back to the drawing boards. I'm sure by that friend Victor that you plan to partake in the game of video with Beast Boy. The man put a hand behind his head, rubbing it sheepishly. The last one of the day was Raven, but she was barred from hand to hand since her emotional clones would go haywire if she got hurt. So Robin was about to call it when the elevator opened up and out stepped Naruto. Who had on a red shirt with black cargo pants. He looked at everyone, shaking his head. This is so stupid he said in his mind. You can't be alone forever kid, suck it up. Naruto slowly walked towards Robin, who stood on guard, was he mad for him having answer some questions. When Naruto stood face to face with the boy wonder, the whole room went silent. That's when the currently unthinkable thing happened, the semi-blonde extended his hand. Naruto looked at Robin who was dumbfounded, well have you ever shook a hand bird brain? The half-demon said, the boy wonder came out of his stupor and extended his arm out as well and shook Naruto's. I would like to say I am not sorry for the way I've been, but I would say sorry for keeping myself scarce. I have no reason to take anger on you all, but the thing is here. You won't change my method, but I'll certainly help you. Robin looked at him confused. He pulled back his hand, then why did you come up here? He asked, it was an honest question, the boy looked at him. Then smirked before walking away. The next thing the people saw Naruto heading back. Full speed. I came here to fight. He shouted. Robin barely managed to dodge the flying kick Naruto sent him, Robin got out his bow staff. Spinning it around before bringing it to his back and a palm up. Naruto cracked his neck and smirked. Nice footwork street light. He heard the whizzing of energy go past his head and it was launched from Starfire, who come to Robin's side. 2-on-1, Naruto said closing his eyes before forming a hand seal. Seems hardly fair Cage Bushin. The half-demon announced, forming one more of himself. Robin and Starfire charged while the others hung back. The half-demon eyes snapped open, revealing redder eyes, let's dance. He ordered yelled out. Robin was the first to meet him, Naruto barely dodged the multitude of bow staff strikes, jumping backwards when Robin tried to swipe him off his feet. He felt his clone dispersed and looked see Starfire flying right towards him, Naruto simply dodged flowed under her movement. Starfire, behind you. Robin announced before his bow staff took a kick for him. Ambrose got a leg. Beast Boy commented before seeing Naruto become a blur of movement. Running around Robin, looking for an opening. All they saw was the boy's red tail making a after-image streak in the circle he was forming around Robin, who smirked, putting his staff in the oncoming path of Naruto. who just jumped over it and launched himself in air. Starfire watched as the red streak headed for her and she got ready. Easily blocking a kick from Naruto before trying to punch him, which almost connected, save that Naruto used his tail as a grapple on the girl's leg. He swung away and then went behind her, where he managed to land a kick before detaching himself. The half-demon landed doing a handstand before smirking as Robin charged him down. The boy countered the bow staff strikes with his legs, grunting slightly in pain with each hit. They backed off each other and Starfire joined his side. Naruto smiled, having good spar, but they didn't know that. "You tired fox boy?" Robin asked, giving Naruto a nickname. The semi-blonde just smirked before forming the hand seal from earlier, jumping into the air. "Try this out bird brain. Danmaku Bushin." Barrage clone, several clones formed into the air and launched themselves at the duo of heroes who managed to dodge, only to see a cloud of smoke appear when the clones dispersed. Naruto came running out of smoke, charging at them. He had 2 clones by him, Robin swiftly dodged him before they saw a green blur in the form a cheetah join in the fight. Naruto easily dodged the cheetah and smirked as his clones went and tackled it to the ground. Beast Boy formed back and slammed his hand into the ground. Naruto brought his leg down in an axle kick and managed to dodge a starbolt, which blew a hole in the mate. The boy smirked before feeling his muscles tighten and his chakra coils going to work. Starfire launched a few more bolts of energy at him, to which Naruto channeled chakra into his hands, managing to create a barrier where he could deflect them. He barely managed to before the barrier broke and he collapsed onto his knee. He was breathing hard and then slowly his red eyes faded back into their blue. The boy fell back and started laughing. I can't believe you are good at fighting, but seriously. Don't bring in the girl." Naruto breathed out before Robin put his hand next to his throat. "You lose." Naruto just looked at him before flicking him off and then slowly got up. His eyes were heavy, the lack of chakra in his system, due to healing from yesterday, well, it just made him weaker than usual. The others got around as their attention turned to snoring while a smiling Naruto laid down, sleeping on the sweaty mat. Well, that was a 180. The hell happened? Raven. Cyborg watched as the other half-demon had black energy in her hand. Scanning over Naruto's body, she frowned. "He's fragmented. I detect Amada clones inside of him, though they are undiscovered." The group looked at her and finally Beast Boy spoke up. The young lad had only one question. "Then which one came out just now?" Inside Naruto's mind, unknown time. Several dark figures looked over the fallen Naruto and they looked at each other. Each with different colored tails and eyes. They glared at each other. "It is my turn again." The fully black-tailed and black-eye one said. The brown-haired shadow simply let go of a small thread, which slowly floated towards the shadow and it smiled. His teeth bearing sharp canines and menacing look. The other looked around before one with pink hair and pink eyes stood up. His features, though shadowed, had a more childlike appearance and it finally had enough. "No rage, you've had enough time." It squeaked. The said dark shadow glared at the small one and with a menacing voice, it showed its anger to the audacity to speak against him. "Anata wa Sukashi Rado, Anata wa Basho ga nai Tianime ko no Karada Matawa Kokoro nai. Anata ga Shin Deet Kita, Anata wa Tatimo Nakoru Hazu." "You little rat, you have no place. Not anymore in this body or mind. You have been dead, you should remain so." The being known as Rage boomed out. "Hey, raging, leave compassion alone. You asshole, he's right, you had way too much time already, you've corrupted our body into this psychotic asshole." A purple-haired being said, standing up, having sat down throughout the outburst from Rage. "Batashitachi no Shida, Ikki, Anata Orakana ch plus ana Sakuhin no Gomi o Hinasu." "Speak our tongue, bravery, you foolish little piece garbage." The purple-haired shadow just glared hard and moved over to a crying compassion, squeezing his shoulder for comfort. Rage looked at the other 4 there and smirked. "Sashite, Anata no Kodo o Sukidasuka. Jisei, Kumfuku, Sashite Saigo no Dwa Naku, Sukinaki Tomoishi. Nani Gakadomo no Bikuri Kor Nai Anata o you?" And, of you love, intellect, happiness, and last but not least will. What say you to this bickery of children? Rage turned his back to the remaining 4 who were at odds. They needed rage, hell they wanted rage. Love was looking decayed over the years and intellect's drive was the gain of knowledge which the fox inside their body allowed. Though sadly, the Kyuubi never mentioned them to their host, maybe it was the way it was meant. Maybe even Karamo Tsutsuki, their demon lord, knew better to keep rage out. Since in all rights, he has to be out to keep the body and main persona going. Though intellect knew this, he didn't have to like it. Happiness had no voice, he had only murmured throughout the argue, afraid to upset Rage any further. The poor brown-haired child cuddled up, afraid, unable to speak since he was muted out a long time ago. Though one with white hair walked towards Rage and glared at him. Anata ga yuitsu no kanjimo sari bakita to amubai wa zihi watashi o tatakao shite kudasai. If you think you should be the only emotion, then please by all means fight me. The one known as Will stated. Glaring hard into Rage, who merely scoffed at him. Barosu Rakamono no man I wa mayu wa remison there is no honor among killing fools. Rage simply stated, slowly grasped the thread before it grabbed out of his hand by Will. Who glared hard at Rage, the true shadowy figure of the group only smiled at himself and chuckled. Will took the thread and walked over to Happiness with it, the old-looking shadow slowly reached up for it. Trying to grasp it and with it compassion came to help him. You'd let Happiness die, for what? The boy yelled out. The demonic-looking shadow, Rage, just sneered. Fain watashi watch noichi kagetsu, anata wa konoichi do oarikimuwara moreu, tesorwa watashi no ban wa michidota. Watashi wa tonikaku kare no matomo sai no kanjimda fine, I let you roam this one time, just 1 month, and then it's my turn once more. I am his most beloved emotion anyway. Happiness lightly chuckled, coughing slightly as his dull gray hair slowly reformed into a blonde color. TT thank you I felt myself going the way of light. He's so dry bone now, he cannot even speak. Compassion nodded, huddling up next to Happiness. Yeah ever since Rage combined with darkness, it's been a nightmare the others there nodded and they heard a dark laugh and it started to count. Sick bastard Bravery muttered, the shadows started to fall off of them. The room they were in slowly faded but what caught their attention was that of a foreign presence inside the room. They turned to see a leotard-adorned girl staring at them. It's worse than I thought she muttered before warping away. The Amada clones looked at each other and Intellect finally voiced it. Okay, in all seriousness, did we just get invaded mentally without noticing? Back inside Titan's tower, Med Bay, 10:23 AM. So Rave, what's up? Beast Boy asked. She came back into her own body and looked at them. The girl simply stood up and grabbed a book she kept under her leotard. Rave. Beast Boy asked, seeing if he could get a response. She started skimming through the book, looking for ways to surpass a particular Amada clones or ways to disband combined ones. She skimmed through. Until coming towards a section in the book. She began to read it in her head. A clone effectus, segregavit non herent cum, si sintaiusdem rationis. Potest autumn per continuum mutationum medicinum virtutus igmento lyrum clones inside a clone of emotion cannot be separated once they're together if they are the same nature. However, one can medicate the change by constant increase of power inside other clones, she read to herself before closing the book. Well that about explains it, she dryly stated before walking out. The other Titans looked at her. Robin was the first to step, explains what? It explains why he's so vile and nasty all the time. His emotional clones Darkness and Rage have combined. Meaning he'll probably always be this way, a spoiled brat. Raven commented. Whoa, hold it. Can't you do anything? I mean you surpassed your Rage. I mean come on Rave, isn't it at least good to have him control it? Cyborg commented, but the girl shook her head. It's not the same Cyborg, if they're combined, I can't break them apart. Rage and Darkness are of the same nature and of the same origin. Anger. To break them is to break laws of nature. Beast Boy rolled his eyes before looking at her. So which one had control at the time he came in to fight? If it was Darkness, Rage, or whatever would have tried to kill us? Raven nodded, slightly agreeing with Beast Boy. I think Happiness had control of at the time, though the extent of the control to me isn't known. Right now, I am at equal, he bounces around. Meaning what Amada clone has him pretty much garners choices subconsciously from the main persona. Raven explained, almost as if she was a teacher. Dude, so it's like you're Nevermore? Raven nodded to Cyborg's question. Making him to a O-face. BB crashed his knuckle into a open palm and smirked. Well let's jump in there and kick some Dark Rage ass. Only to have Raven shake her head. No you idiot, then we would put our own souls at risk. I think the only reason why he didn't lash at me, or detect me for that matter, was because of the bickering between the other Amada clones. I think he's every bit as powerful as my Rage now. Do you remember what happens when I get too pissed off? The green changeling backed off slightly. But, if the Amada clones control Naruto without his knowledge, how come acts upon his own will of the individual? Raven shrugged. I don't know, maybe it's because will is the second strongest and garners the most freedom. Or, that it's the dueling nature of will and rage that keeps his persona being just one. I do know, by just looking at them they are almost like mine. BB just started to smirk before he saw Raven fume. It's not a good thing. It means that they're so rationally different that one answer will never be the answer, it would always be the wrong answer towards every other Amada clone inside. Meaning, let's say in some god-awful universe I kissed you. She said pointing towards Beast Boy who had a smirk dash across his face. That would be against Happiness, intellect, and most certainly balance. Since you would throw me off and I forgot passion would also be thrown off. That made Beast Boy frown slightly. The other nodded and looked at him. Cyborg smirked, you know, under all the BS and all the ugly. Maybe he's not a bad guy, just a bad past. Robin rolled his eyes under his mask, that was already stated fact. Raven walked out and she looked at the team of teens. I need to investigate this further, she said, walking out. What if Naruto and Starfire married Teen Titans end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.